welcome to episode 97 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dilz, and with me is Deagin.
Hey, how's it going?
So topics for this week's episode, we will be talking about another update on Oldschool Mobile. And no, it's not regarding the iOS beta. So sorry, you Apple users out there, you'll have to wait a little bit longer. We also got some more PvP changes and another update on the new quest coming out, Making Friends with My Arm. This week, we also see the closing of RuneScape Classic. But not just RuneScape Classic. RuneScape Chronicles closes as well, a double whammy in the Jagex gaming department. And lastly, a little more drama in regards to the Rev Caves. But before we get into that, Deagin, tell us about your week.
Alright, what did I do? So, played a little bit of RS.
Nice. Anything exciting?
Kind of, not really. Well, no, not really. So,
yeah, I haven't seen you on too much in the past, I want to say month.
Well, I played a bit more this week. I went and did, some medium clues, and I did, all the stash spots for the medium clues. I went and, filled that out. I might just start spamming clues, because I have, money just kind of sitting around, and I don't really know what to spend it on. And, I have money put away just for flipping, and then I have money sitting around doing nothing, so it's why not gamble and maybe see if I can get Ranger Boots, or how many Ranger Boots I can get before 500.
Interesting, alright. So, you're someone who doesn't even really like clue scrolls. Where does this idea come from?
So, I don't know. I think generally I don't like stopping what I want to do to then go do clue scrolls.
Right.
I really don't mind dropping a bunch of money to open up the imps and then just teleport, get it done. Yeah. Sorry, I meant to say 400 clues, not 500.
What's why 400?
The clueless scroll.
Oh, what item is that? Oh, that's the item. It's the clueless scroll. So if you don't know, for most of the clue scroll tiers, you hit a certain tier of, clues completed, you unlock an untradeable item, whether it's a wieldable spade, unfortunately you can't use, a clue scroll that you can kind of walk around with it opened up, and then a treasure chest, I believe. Yeah, treasure casket is the other one.
Yeah. There might be more. I have no idea if there's more. Wait, actually, let me double check.
Because I know Master Clues don't have one. Maybe their clue item is supposed to be the pet. I don't really know.
Does Easy get one? Wait, I'm really confused. So,
Easy's the spade. Medium is the clue scroll.
Elite says that's the casket.
Okay, so maybe hard clue scrolls don't have them.
Oh, hard you get the Yuri transform emote. Right. Okay. It's all coming together now. It's all coming together. So Masters is missing its reward, I guess.
Which is probably because of the pet, if I were to guess.
Yeah. It's safe to guess or assume. But yeah. So I was just thinking I might as well go do the mediums. Because at 400, I could just see if I get any Rangers, or if I get one or two. I'll see if I make any money off of it, or if I lose money. Because I should have enough to be able to get 400 done. I think I do. I think I got enough for 500. So I think 400, I'll be okay. I am buying everything at reduced prices. So I put in a buy. I'll jump on, do a bunch, and then put in a buy at a set price.
All right.
Just because right now the prices of eclectics are a little inflated. I'm worried about, having a couple thousand and they just drop in price.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. If you don't know eclectic imps, I guess I think it's a 1 in 25 upon opening them. You have a chance to get a clue scroll. I think it's a 1 in 25. Maybe it's a 1 in 9. I don't know, but
yeah, this was an update that came out, well, at least since Old School RuneScape was a thing. And I believe it's because I don't believe imps were tradable, were they?
I have no idea. I didn't really mess with Hunter when I was a kid.
Either imps became tradable, or they added clue scrolls to some of the imp drop tables, which allowed people to basically have buyable clue scrolls in some sense.
Yeah, so it's a 1 in 25. Typically, you lose 2.4k per imp on average. So you're pretty much doing it just for either the clue scroll reward or Ranger boots.
Ranger boots are nice. It's great that the medium clue scroll has such an expensive item.
Yeah.
36 mil. Wow.
Yep. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, so I did a little bit of that. Haven't really got anything yet. Haven't done too many. Mainly because I would go on, do like maybe a couple hundred, eclectic imps, get like 10 or something like clues done. And then I'd be like, okay, I'll put in a buy-in, jump on tomorrow. And then they weren't really buying. So I'm like, okay, that sucks. Put in some buys for some teleports and, fix all my flips, put in another buy. And then Monster Hunter World came out for PC.
Oh, was that game not out for PC for a while?
No, so I think it was January it came out on console. Okay. And then on the 9th, it came out for PC.
I see.
And I played a little bit in the beta, and I wasn't really liking it at all in the beta. And my one buddy, who's been obsessed with the Monster Hunter series since like the second one, he's loved the series forever. And usually you'd play on handheld or something, like 3DS or the DS or something like that. But, it's coming to, PC and whatnot eventually. But he was super oh, Deagin, you're gonna love it. The game's the best, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing. And so, a day before the game came out, all my buddies were like, yeah, let's play it. We're gonna, let's play it. And me and my one friend were kind of iffy. You know what? The new WoW expansion comes out in the Tuesday, right? It comes out on the 14th.
True. Yep.
And we're both really bored. And I jump on and play maybe an hour of RuneScape here and there, do my clues. Fuck it. This will be a good way to kill some time until BFA comes out. And yeah, I'm totally addicted to the game.
Oh yeah, so it's good.
It's actually fucking unreal on how good the game is.
Interesting.
I haven't liked a game this much since probably the last time I said on the podcast I haven't liked a game this much. I don't know what game that would have been. I've dumped in a stupid amount of hours already. I think the last game I said I was obsessed with was Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Possibly.
Probably.
Yeah, that might be it.
And then with that game I hit endgame and I was able to literally go into camps and just kill it. It ended up getting really bad because I pretty much have infinite money. I got too far into the game where now it's boring. But Monster Hunter World, in the 3 days it's been out, I already have more hours clocked in that game than I played for a week and a bit, maybe 2 weeks. It's mess. I've been getting 3 hours of sleep, I guess, except for today we're recording a bit late. I went and took a nap and ended up sleeping for 5 hours maybe.
Nice.
So it's a 1 hour nap to just refresh before the podcast. And I woke up and I'm huh. I guess I didn't need that much sleep. Look at my phone. Oh, fuck. I slept right through my alarm. It's fucking so awesome. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check it out. It's I know some friends at work that do play that game and they love it, but I haven't really looked too much into it. It's those sort of games I usually get for my console.
Dude, get it for PS4. It's really good.
Yeah, I might in the future. Yeah, I don't know. I got a huge list of console games. And here I am playing No Man's Sky, and the game's been fucking lagging constantly when I'm playing it. It's unplayable now, so I'm kind of wondering whether or not I have to wait for a patch, or if I'm just gonna have to drop that game because the lag is just so unbearable.
Dude, I would look into Monster Hunter World. It's actually I don't know. It's super dope. There's the whole thing is that I guess you kill monsters and I don't know, dude. It's super fun. If you like Shadow of the Colossus, killing some big monsters, those intense fights and stuff. And it's, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it too much or go too into detail because I'll talk about it for 2 hours probably. So I'm trying to keep it vague and to the point. Yeah, it's one of those games I just sit down. Oh, I need to grind out these monsters. I want to kill this boss a couple times. Unlock these pieces of armor. Fuck some shit up. Oh, dude, it's just, it's too good.
All right. Well, besides Monster Hunter, anything else going on in your life?
That's pretty much it. Prepping to move because I'm moving pretty soon.
Ooh, fun. The big move.
I think that's pretty much it. Been playing a little bit of WoW, just messing around in World PvP and whatnot. Camping outside of Ogremar and just killing people. It's normally what I do. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've just been playing a shit ton of Monster Hunter World, honestly. I think that's it. What'd you do this week?
The week's been kind of tame, but this week coming up is going to be crazy busy. So I should say in advance, this episode might come out a day later. I'll have to see how it's going to roll. It might be a bit of a shorter episode. We might have to skip lore, because I don't know how much time I'm going to have this week. Anyways, I got school just around the corner, so I'm getting all ready for that. I'm going to have to start handing in applications to a new job, because I'm going to have to quit my job soon. And yeah, I got a tattoo coming up on Tuesday. Super excited for that. I'm a little nervous too as well. Not so much about this would be my second tattoo basically. So not so much about the pain, but it's more like the aftercare, because since my last tattoo, I now have a dog. So I got to somehow keep it clean and away from dog hair. I have to go to work the next day and basically out in the sun working around dust and dirt 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but for 9 hours that day. Plus, I'm going to be sweaty as shit, and they say you're not supposed to get it wet. I don't know if sweat's going to do any damage to it. But anyways.
Yeah, sweating with like a fresh tattoo isn't really good.
I've been trying to get information, and I don't think it's that. Like, they say you're not supposed to go swimming. You're not supposed to take a shower. Like, you can take a shower, but you're not supposed to get your tattoo wet, for the most part. I think it's wet for prolonged periods. Sweat, unless you're, like, completely gorged in sweat, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's collecting on, like, it's on my bicep, right? So if it's collecting on my arm, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal.
Well, like, I think the main worry would be, like, the pores, the glands, sweat glands. Is that a thing? If you're, like, sweating out your, like, bicep, you know what I mean? Like, if you're sweating, like, there, that might be where an issue occurs. It's not like you're gonna just be like, oh man, I'm dripping ink everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just all rubbed off like permanent marker.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not permanent marker, but anyways. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit tricky to keep it clean, I think.
No, you should do?
What's that?
You know those, tensor bandages? Is that the right word?
Yeah,
you could
gauze,
like bandage
right?
it up with like cotton or some sort of cloth and just like replace it at some point in the day. Make sure it's not getting too wet. Like you could like literally cover it up with like some sort medical absorbent pad. Get like a feminine, you know, those pads that ladies use.
Oh yeah,
once a
yeah,
month?
yeah.
Dude, just like tape one to your bicep.
Well, I mean, it probably could fit. I got like pretty skinny arms for the most part. Could fit right around it probably. But the problem is it's got to be able to breathe still. You can't keep it like wrapped up too tightly. Otherwise, I would just use like saran wrap or something.
Man, I might like look into like those, like, you know, those like, there's like, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like some sort of medical cloth. Like, I remember like getting it put on me when I got cut badly as a kid, but like you put it on and then use medical tape to tape the sides of it to keep it down.
I'm probably gonna have to do something like that and then switch it out every maybe break time, lunchtime, and after work, something like that, so it doesn't just get like, yeah, I don't know. I had to go buy some UV protective clothing. I'm all prepared for this because tattoos are expensive, and it'd be a pain in the ass that because I had to go to work the next day, all this shit were to happen. Which I feel like an idiot saying this because I'm quitting soon. I'm probably giving my 2 weeks in tomorrow.
Yeah.
So part of me just wants to go, well, you know what? I'm gonna fucking call in sick, or I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna show up. Fuck you guys. But then the other part of me is like, you know, I don't want to screw my team over. The partner that I work with, he's going through some pretty intense family issues right now. So I don't really want to, you know, put him in a bad spot either. Life.
Dude, just take it easy, you know? Go high in a basement, play some mobile.
That's what I'm thinking. As soon as I start sweating, I'll just run to the basement. So yeah, anyways, point of all that, busy week coming up. Things are going to get squirrely. Anyways, none of that. Video game related, as I mentioned, No Man's Sky, but it's lagging me to shit, so I'm getting kind of sick of that game. So I didn't play it too much because you jump on, play it for 10 minutes, everything's lagging, and you're playing at like 5 FPS, and it reminds me of playing RuneScape back in the day on like the shittiest computer where that thing couldn't even run RuneScape at an acceptable rate, I guess. So, yeah, besides that, been playing some RuneScape, and I'm basically just been doing bossing. Did some raiding, did some wilderness bosses with some people from the CC, and some God Wars bosses. I got the Gargoyle Slayer task, so I've been tackling that. I've been doing those bosses, the Grotesque Guardians. Don't mind that boss. It's whatever. I don't find the fight that bad. Almost purchased that new Slayer upgrade where it made it so that you get 2 Slayer kills for killing the Gargoyle bosses. But then I realized the thing's 500 points. If I really want to finish this task quicker, I may as well just do half my task on that boss and then finish it at Gargoyles, since that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Seems like a kind of a stupid purchase to spend your Slayer points on. Anyways, I don't know. And then I did some questing because I don't have all my quests done, and this new quest is rolling around the corner. I'd love to be able to... I was going to say I want to be able to get more excited when a quest comes out, which I already do, but it just seems weird that I'm like, I got to rush to do this quest day 1, and I have like 10 other quests that I just haven't completed. So I'm slowly chipping away at that. I did like 3 quests today, simple ones like Clock Tower and Devious Mind, and there's like another one that I can't remember which one it was, but I think I'm going to slowly crack at that. But yeah, I'm in a weird spot on RuneScape. And I know you've talked about this before, and I'm basically at that point. I'm on the money grind. There's not necessarily like levels I need to get for things. Like, sure, I could have a diary requirement as my next goal, but realistically, the only things I'm looking forward to is maybe Theater of Blood or being better at Chambers of Xeric, and that's just mainly going to come from gear.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned in the past how you're on the money grind and that it's kind of demotivating. It's hard to keep pushing for it when you have, these 40 mil items, and then you have 100 mil items, and then you got the T-bow at the end.
I mean, that stuff I didn't mind. It's after I got everything, and then my next items are T-bow and Ellie. And then you're like, oh, for fuck. I mean, I could start grinding for an Avernic Defender. That's kind of what I've been thinking about. But it's not bad actually grinding out full Ancestral and Arma and full melee and like full tank gear. Like that stuff actually isn't too bad because it's like, you can get lucky with a Xeric's drop in like a solo, like I got like, what was it? Ancestral Top as my first item. So I was able to buy like Rigor and my Warhammer and stuff like that. You can get some like big items that help you get multiple pieces and you're like, oh shit, nice. Like that stuff is really good, but having to save up like 1 bill for like a fucking 1 shooty boy is kind of demotivating, and it's kind of like you get like 100 million, like man, I could just stake it like 3 times and I'm set. Just all in 3 times, get lucky, and I'm done. Or I could like grind for like ever to get this T-bow.
I think the problem is that so you're on the money grind, and one thing is nice is that it gives you the freedom for the most part to do like. You can acquire that money in any means necessary. There's tons of different bosses that do offer a fair bit of money. But the problem is, I find all my PVMing falls into, I'm going to say 4 categories. Category 1, my Slayer task. Can I do the boss on that one? Because this way I can get my Slayer experience with it. Sure, chance at the pet, that whatever my Slayer task is, if it has a boss version of it. Cool.
Yep.
The next category is doing it with friends and in a group as more of a social activity and not so much for the money, which it makes like Bandos or some of the Wildy bosses pretty fun. But the money it depends what you're doing, but it's not necessarily going to be that good. Like if you're doing Bandos, good chance you're going to walk away with nothing, like 100k each.
Yeah, you're going to have like a whole day wasted. Well, air quotes wasted in terms of making money.
Yeah, money-wise, and because you're having a good time, that's why it's great, because it's one of the most fun things you can do on RuneScape, is like doing things with a group of friends.
Yep.
But for furthering your current goal, if it's acquiring money, you're not going to make too much progress unless you get lucky on a unique. The third category is what's the best money maker there is, and it's just going to fall under Zulrah or Vorkath, which. It's Zulrah and Vorkath. You can only do like 100 of those before you start going, how much money do I have now? How much more do I have to go? All right.
I mean, I did like a long grind of, I would just do raids, do a little bit of Slayer bossing, and then Vorkath or Zulrah. Like, that was it. I just tried to make as much money as possible. The issue is I did a lot of it solo. You make more money with like a group of people. Everyone knows what they're doing. You're ripping through them like getting those 30-minute group raids done is super nice. Or like those sub 30 minutes. Like you make way more money per hour as opposed to like getting a 45-minute solo.
And it's the most fun. You have people to talk to. You're not just going through the rooms.
Yeah. One thing it's funny that I think about is I have like over like, I don't know, maybe like a bit over 300 raids. I don't really remember. Most of my big items I got were in solo.
That's kind of awesome, right?
I went well over 100 raids dry. I went like a whole month. I'm not of literally just slowly losing money. I remember watching my cash stack slowly go down over the course of a month because like having to go through whips and charges and all that stuff and like random things. I was constantly just like slowly losing money. Mm-hmm. And I was just spamming raids like crazy with nothing. I was getting super mad. And then over the course of 1 week, I got like a hunter crossbow drop. I got, what was it? I got like a couple good items. Got like a dexterous. I don't know. I got like 2 or 3 items in a week. And wow. They were all in solos while I was waiting for my buddies to jump on to do group raids. So like I got really lucky, but yeah, raids can be like really demotivating, especially like if you're soloing, like I was doing, and you sit down and like, okay, I can do 2 today. You know, I have time to do 2 or 3, and you're like, oh, okay, did them, and I made absolutely nothing, and then you go to bed thinking, wow, I made 0 money today. I could have made a couple mil doing Zulrah or Vorkath.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say as the 4th category, which is raiding. It's basically a mixture of gold per hour and the socialness of it when you're doing it with a group. It's a little bit different than Vorkath because I know I've mentioned this before, but I find the problem with Vorkath is that the fact that he just shits out money, no one's going there hoping to hit the unique drop table. They're there just because every kill you're going to be getting good money. So there's nothing to really get excited for when you get the kill. Sure, you will get excited if you get the unique, but the uniques are such rare items to actually get that you're not there to get them. You're just there to bang through and like get your dragon hides and your bones and get all of that. Whereas raiding is kind of the opposite. You're basically there for the uniques, and that's really what makes it super exciting, which also sucks if you don't get them because then you're not really making much money at all. And yeah, like you said, it kind of feels like a waste of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stuck on that money grind, and I kind of just sit there being like, what should I do? Should I get a group together for a raid? Should I go do my gargoyle boss slayer task? And then I just kind of, I don't know. Not too sure. I've finally got enough money for a dragon warhammer, which is awesome. That was my next goal that I wanted to get, so I finally purchased that item. And then I grabbed it, and I was like, sweet. Just going to stick that to the bank and probably go back to Grotesque Guardians, get that task finished. So it's, the money grind can be pretty rough. Because, like, it's not like you get an item and you're like, oh, sweet, we're done. It's like, all right, got that one down. What's the next one I'm looking for? This. But I guess every goal is kind of like that on RuneScape, right? You hit level 99, and what's the next 99 I need to get?
Yeah, that's the main thing about, like, if you're grinding out a bunch of items, just look at the next item. Don't, like, look at the full, like, if I was like, oh, man, I gotta grind out all of Ancestral, it's like, nah, I would chunk up, like, okay, I want to get the robes, then the legs, then this, then the hat, and you know what I mean? Like, kind of, like, chunk it all down to, like, just focus on each piece, and once you get that piece, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. But anyways, this whole dilemma that I'm currently kind of in kind of had me thinking about something else. I've been kind of playing with the idea of starting an Iron Man account and playing with that. Hardcore Iron Man to be specific. I've been thinking of some ideas to make it more fun and unique. Maybe make like YouTube videos or start streaming with it or something. That I'm not too sure. That's might be biting off more than I can chew. But since this money grind has it's felt demotivating, playing on an Iron Man account has started being a bit more appealing for me. where you don't just go do these 3 different tasks until you get enough money to get something. You actually have to go out of your way and grind that monster to get that item. Like, I think about doing barrows on an Iron Man account. I feel like it would be one of the most fun and exciting grinds to do, right?
You say that, but, 2,000 in or like 1,500 in, and you have like 8 Darok axes and no helmet. Or,
yeah, that's where the problem would be. But it would still be kind of exciting to go. There's so many pieces you'd want. If you want to collect all the items, then, you know what I mean? You have 6 sets of 4-piece gear. So that'd be fun to start knocking away. And if you ever get bored, you look at another item you need. Maybe you want to get the Dragon Warhammer. You go kill some shamans for a bit. Maybe you want to get some of the God Wars items. You go and kill one God Wars boss and then teleport out. The grind seems a bit more fun, but the problem is with an Iron Man account is I don't always have the most time, especially since I'm going to school and going to be having a part-time job. I don't know how much time that's going to leave me. It might leave me more time. I have no idea, because right now I'm working a 44-hour week where I need to drive 2 hours every day, and then I come home, I'm exhausted because the work's pretty labor intensive. Now with school and a part-time job, I might have more time to do other things, but I might have less. I don't entirely know. But anyways, the problem with the Iron Man account is some of the more tedious grinds. Yeah, Barrows sounds fun. But then I think about grinding for all that food that you're going to be using at Barrows, or grinding for those energy potions, or the whole process beforehand of grinding for resources, right? It could be a bit rough.
Think about, like, once you have Zara, like, on farm, like, you have all the items and stuff, you'll still always have to go back to Zara.
Yeah.
You'll never, like, have a time where you're, like, completely done with, like, some content. You'll always have to be farming herbs. You're like, there's stuff that you always have to be doing. And that's what kind of kills me with an Iron Man is like, what if you really want to do, like, say, Bandos or, Sarah or something, but you kind of have to sit there and AFK fish for like a week and then cook them all.
Some of that seems annoying, and then I think about doing clue scrolls. I love my clue scroll grinds, and doing a clue scroll on an Iron Man sounds like it would be kind of a lot of fun. It'd probably be annoying as hell, but, let's say you get an emote clue that requires another clue scroll item. You're like, now I gotta grind for that. But part of that I kind of like. It's like, the reason this seems so appealing to me right now is because it's the exact opposite of just grinding for money. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be doing that. On top of, I've thought about it for a while too, because with this lore segment we do with the podcast, Eventually, I would like to go through and talk about some of the lore from the quests that we have to do. But the problem with my main is I skip through all of them, and I'm almost done every quest. So this would give me a chance to go back on my Iron Man and actually read through it.
Yeah.
So I have thought about it for a while, but it's just recently that I've been sitting there being like, some of it seems like it'd be a lot of fun to do. And I've also talked about a couple weeks ago that I was dabbling on RuneScape 3 on the Iron Man, because it would have been cool to try some of the content in that game. And there's so many new items in it that it's just, I thought it would be fun to stumble through, but it's kind of a big grind. The quests, it's the quests that make it a big grind, not the experience. The experience is kind of easy, but it's the questing in that game. It's great though, don't get me wrong, it's great, but not sure where I'm going to go with that. If I decided to start streaming it, or if I decide to start doing YouTube videos or something, it'll mainly be because I might do an Iron Man only in PvP worlds. So everything I just complained about the Iron Man playstyle, playing on a PvP world would just be heightened. But I feel like some of that would be kind of fun, where you need to always be thinking out of the box about things.
I mean, if you're streaming that, prepare to get killed like every 10 minutes by pures.
Yeah, that's maybe that's like a YouTube thing. Yeah, streaming that, you'd have someone being like, oh, look at this guy is streaming a hardcore Iron Man in PvP worlds, and he's got 2 viewers. Easy peasy. This guy ain't got no delay on it. Oh, by the way, I've been doing some fletching on my main. I'm at 89 fletching.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess so. I basically do that while I sit at the bank being like, I don't know what I want to do. What should I do? Not too sure. Anyways, I've rambled just a little bit too much, so let's move her on right to that news.
All right, so I guess starting off, we have a little Canada special, little Canadian special update.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the old school mobile Android, they had a soft launch in Canada.
Fuck yeah. So no membership required if you have an Android and you live in Canada.
I don't know why they chose Canada. I'm assuming because the population is pretty small.
Maybe it's just because Canada's the fucking best, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe. Put it in perspective, though, I'm pretty sure California has more people than Canada as a whole, so...
I feel like the reason they did it is because there's a fair bit of Canadians that play old school RuneScape, but it's also, like you said, it's a smaller population, so it's not like if they release it, they have to worry about it crashing. You know what I mean? Like, let's say they did, like, a China soft launch. I mean, there's probably not many people playing RuneScape, but let's pretend they did. You know, the servers would just crash. Every world would be full.
I would just kind of assume they would do, like, UK or something. Especially because, like, there's some things in, like, Canada's known for having shitty internet.
Maybe they have a deal with the telephone companies.
With Bell.
Sons of bitches.
Have you seen that picture of, like, the Bell technician that installed the guy's internet, but he drilled through their sewage pipe?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, through the piping, so it leaked everywhere.
Yeah, Canadian ISP for you. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's probably just the size of Canada.
They probably split the player base up into like what countries they play out of and realize this is a kind of a safe number that also still has a fair bit of people that play the game. So we don't have to worry about releasing it in Taiwan and 3 people play the game. And they're like, so what do you guys think about it? And they're just farming gold.
Yeah. So they make a note to say that they've changed the way their billing system updates. They say, in order to remain compliant with the rules of the App Store and implement purchase for subscriptions and bonds, we've had to make sure our billing systems were updated to include a new method or new methods of payment that will be used. Rather than the traditional website billing we're used to, this means we've had to make some changes that will apply to mobile users only.
Ooh.
I'm assuming that Google AdSense thingy, maybe stuff like that, where you like, or do you think like RuneScape's gonna have like, you're like cutting a tree and then it just like stops and an ad pops up?
Yeah, possibly. And it's
buy a membership, no ads.
Yeah, that's exactly what it'd be. Or it'd be like, click on this and you'd gain normal experience rates for an hour, because mobile, you get cut down to 0.5% of the, not 0.5%, half of what your normal experience rate is. Jesus, I can't talk this episode.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Apparently.
Yeah, so I guess new ways to give them your money on mobile. But yeah, they have a toggleable orb that has been added to the advanced settings menu and when on a mobile device. So when tapped, it will open up the store and display payment options for bonds and members. This orb will always show for free-to-play players, and for members, the orb is disabled by default, and you'll need to toggle it on via the advanced settings menu. This will not appear for desktop users, so don't worry about that. They'll be monitoring the usability of the orb over the next few weeks, and one of the ideas we had was replacing the orb entirely with a new account management interface. In order for us to do this, they'd have to be looking into combining friends and ignore buttons into one single interface and using the space between that to free up UI, I guess, so they can add a new account management interface. So from the account management interface, you'll be able to see very specific details, like how many days of membership you have, an indication of messages you may have in the message center, a link to the old school support page, a link to the news page, and the ability to purchase bonds and membership. Your feedback is very much welcomed. Yada, yada, yada.
Nice.
So I don't really mind combining friends and ignore lists as long as it's better than the quest interface.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I hate having to click those orbs. I feel like if I want to look at my achievements, I have to click the buttons 8 times to find the right one, because I can never remember what the actual colors are of each. Even though I know it's green, purple, red, for some reason my brain will just always click the wrong one. So hopefully they don't have like some weird interface like this. And then honestly, if they were to combine friends and ignore list, they might just want to like implement the clans too.
I was just thinking that. Why not put it all in there, but make it nice and friendly. Don't have, as you said, don't make it like the quest tab where you have the fucking buttons up top that just switch out and there's no fucking order.
Maybe have like text buttons with text on it that like can just transition nicely, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess that's a possibility that we'll be seeing as a change if the orb interface doesn't actually work out. So that'll be interesting.
I did read that you are able to use your Google Play money to buy bonds with this change. So there's an app that many people use if you're an Android user, and it's Google Rewards. You basically sell information about yourself for 10 cents at a time. You know, people complain all the time that sites are stealing your information. Well, now you can sell a bunch of your information for like 5 cents. And fuck it, I do it. I've made like 13. I've sold a lot of information, but I've made like $13 over the course of 2 years.
You're like medical records just out in the internet.
It tracks your data. It tracks where you've been, which is great because I know if I go to, let's say, a restaurant like Wendy's and I hadn't gone in a while, and then I'll get a notification being like, when was the last time you went to Wendy's? And I was like, oh, what a coincidence. I went there yesterday. And then, you know, you'll get the odd one saying like, what is your SIN number, your social insurance number? And you're like, oh, that's a weird one. Let's hopefully I get a lot of money for this one. So you type that little bad boy in there and look at that. You get the random survey that will go, not all surveys give money, but your information is very valuable.
Does that actually happen?
Every 10th, not the SIN number one, but every 10th like survey, you'll get one that says, we can't give you money for every one of them. But, it's just, thank you for sending your information anyways. And you're like, you motherfuckers just scammed me. Give me my 5 cents. Damn it. Give me fucking 5 cents. Come on.
Gotta sell like an arm and a leg to buy a bond. God damn.
Yeah, basically, you gotta sell them a lot. Okay, so I've done this for about a year. Oh, I've made $22. I've done 93 surveys. Holy shit. They know a lot about me. Yeah, and they'll range from like 10 cents to 50 cents. Holy shit, look at that bad boy.
Yeah, so you're averaging what, like 23 cents?
Probably less, to be honest. Yeah, so I've done it for about a year and done 93 surveys, and a lot of them are just like, sometimes you'll get ones that are like, it'll show you thumbnails from YouTube videos, and it'll be like, what do you think about this video? And it's, I watched one Fortnite video one time, and it's just fucked my YouTube searching for months.
Yeah, I've had that with old school highlights. You know, that fucking shitty ass YouTube channel that no one should ever fucking watch because that's the biggest. Oh my god, I have some shit to say about that. It's just the way the YouTube algorithm works. There's certain categories and videos and content creators that people typically binge. So if you watch like one strip Fortnite video, you're gonna get like 30 in your feed because typically it's like kids that just, watch that shit after school, right?
Yeah, they watch and like, oh, we didn't see any nipples. That sucks. But hey, there's 10 other ones I can look through. One of them is bound to show me it.
50 kills? There's not even 50. You can't even wear 50 articles of clothing. But yeah, the chick's got like 80 t-shirts on.
Winter coat and stuff.
2 pairs of glasses. Earrings now count as clothing and shit.
Now, if I can be honest for a second, not the Fortnite, but I've been duped into watching those RuneScape streamer highlights of the week. I'll watch one and be I'm like, this is the worst. I'm not going to watch it. And then immediately afterwards, I'll see on this search bar, it'll be like, Wooks insults another streamer. And I'm like, well, let me just see what's going on here. Click on it. And it never happens. And I'm like, motherfucker, it never happened. He said nothing, or it was a joke. And then it'll be like, Bodhi breaks his arm on stream. All right, let me try this one. They can't lie every time, and they lie every time.
Alicia nip slip.
You're just like, well, I've already clicked through 4. I might as well try.
Yeah, eventually I'll find a good one. Okay, let me just bitch about this for a bit because I have buddies who are like, dude, check this out, and they'll like link me a video, and I'm like, I'm not watching it. And and they was, dude, fucking man, just watch. Like, no, I'm not gonna support, because, okay, So first of all, that whole fucking YouTube channel is a scam. By the way, if you didn't know, this is how this shit works. They always, the first, like, I don't know, I don't even want to look at the YouTube channel, but I'm assuming every single episode, at least like the 2 or 3 I've seen, they like, I bet you all the videos say this. The first like 30 seconds is like, hey, you should leave a comment, subscribe, click the bell notification, and comment, and fucking, do like everything, and you'll be put into a giveaway, and then you can win like 30 mil this week if you just do that. Coincidentally, every single one of those things games the algorithm to promote that channel, which is why you watch one video and you get 30 of them, because everything you have to do is like what you want. Like if you put a YouTube video out, you want that person to like leave a comment, to subscribe, to like click the bell notification, to like give a thumbs up on the video. Like realistically, there's no way to actually know someone's done all of that to put them into a giveaway.
And the thing is, if you're a random viewer and you do all that, and then you watch the next video and it's just like, we're doing our second giveaway, you just go, okay, well, I didn't win that, somebody else did. But nobody probably ever won it, because...
That's the thing. I have never seen anyone, except for a very suspicious account that actually like went into saying they won, and that one account, I'm like convinced is like either a bot account or the dude had a second account, because people were like, who's actually winning? And it's like one dude who I saw like, dude, I won the last 4 giveaways. It's nuts. And then you look at the guy's YouTube and it's just like, he's like subbed to one person. It's that YouTube channel. He's liked every single one of their videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is why when RuneScape did they had a version of that for Facebook. They were like our Facebook page and comment on the thing, and you could win a Chill Blast computer or whatever. And I saw that and I just thought, are they scamming us? Like, these are the type of posts that I purposely never do those things, because I really don't think I'm going to win. Not because the chances are so unlikely, but because it's so easy to pretend that, yeah, well, we just didn't announce it, but somebody did win it.
Yeah. Twitter's a bit different. Twitter, you can like organize shit through with the hashtags and all that stuff. You can actually like figure out, who's entered like a contest or like whatever, giveaways. But like for that YouTube stuff, especially like, there's a couple 100,000 people, it's like, or I guess 10,000, couple tens of thousands. But the whole thing is that like, all the content is completely stolen. They don't even like let the content creators know that, they've taken clips. And you see some of them complain, like, I've seen some YouTubers be like, dude, you literally just spoiled my next episode. I don't care if you use my content, but can you fucking ask me, like, that this clip was the highlight of my next episode, and a bunch of my viewers, you clickbaited me, into everyone watching it. Now my next episode's completely fucking trash now because of this. The whole thing is a big scam to just make free money.
Yeah, it's rough. I guess it seems to work, because I know I've clicked through a few of them, and then, yeah, my whole site would be completely blown up with that stuff. And I mean, I got questions. I don't want to make this a topic of the podcast, but I'm very curious on some of that. For instance, if it's a weekly episode, is it one guy who's watching 13 streams that week? Because if you watch them, you'll notice one of their episodes has 7 clips from one streamer from one specific stream, because he's like wearing the same clothes and like the same atmosphere. Do people send in clips?
You want to hear a pro tip?
Yeah.
They put in a solid 5 minutes of work for these episodes. What you do is you go to Twitch, go to the game that you want to clickbait make money on, sort by top clips of the week, and you just download the like fucking you can have programs that you just install them on, say like Google Chrome, that just automatically like download, and you can just sit there and fucking download every single clip that has like over X amount of views. And then you add stupid fillers to make it like 10 minutes and 3 seconds. But like,
wow,
they're like, you can just sort Twitch channels by clips, and like they're all taken from stream highlights, right?
Right. See, I'm an idiot. I thought, I was like, it's not the greatest content, but you gotta give him credit. He's spending hours and hours watching through different streams. How would he find this stuff? I never even thought about just looking at what other people clipped.
Okay, I'll just say this and then we'll move on. So looking at the old school directory clips, it's like the top couple views. Overloads is that perp guy who like couldn't make an overload in a raid because he was just being stupid by drinking the potions by accident. And then like Wooks, rip, he almost did it. And then that right there, if you look at whatever episode, like whatever day we post this episode, might be a little bit different because, you know, talked about in the beginning, might be on another day, but like look at that channel's week and then like that channel's week of uploads, and like the fucking title will be like Wook's almost solos a raid, or Rip, he almost did it. Like it's a perfect clickbait title, and then it'll be like Perp, Wook's done for, Mint Mad Cow, Sick Nerd, Mr. Cryo, Sick Nerd. Like you just like look at like all of those, and I can already tell, okay, what fills up like maybe 9 minutes, and then there's like a minute of filler. Okay, I already found it. Done. And like you can even have bots that fucking on a specific day and a specific time just download every single clip on that has over this many views.
God,
like
what?
It's yeah. It's honestly, it's a really good idea to make some easy money. Shit, why am I telling everyone this?
Why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, we should be doing this. But
okay, we're gonna cut this part out. We're gonna change the name from the Wilderness Podcast, and we'll just be OSRS Streamer Highlights of the Week.
Episode 97. Rip, he almost did it.
Yeah, that's it right there.
1 like equals one PK.
Well, you can't really like. I don't know how you would do it for podcasts.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, give us a 5 out of 5 star rating.
What's up, podcasters?
What up, gamers?
You video gamers. Yeah, perfect.
What up, gamers? 3, 2, 1, let's game.
That's great. Wow. All right.
Anyways, pretty off topic. Let's go back to mobile. How do we get onto that?
Oh yeah, right. I guess we do talk about the news.
Yeah. They did some bug reports or bug fixes that have been reported, and there was a lot of missing icons on the map in mobile, so they went and added some of that. Things like minigame icons, dungeon icons, transport icons, all that good stuff. A quest icon, some important stuff, but that's okay. They added tutors and like tea sellers, rope traders, like random ass shit to the world map and mini maps. That's kind of nice.
Perfect.
The letters K, M, and B, so 1,000, million, and billion, have been added as buttons to the window when depositing or withdrawing X amount of times on the mobile device.
I mean, it's horrible. I'm sorry.
Is it not implemented well?
I mean, it's just I saw it and I had no idea. Like, it's obvious. K, M for million, B for billion, and I remember when I was playing on mobile this week, I saw that and I was just like, I don't know what those are for.
Well, if you didn't know, when you're withdrawing, like, you want to take out like 6 mil coins, you don't have to type in 6,0,0,0, like you just hit 6 and M and hit enter, and you pull out 6 mil. Same with K. You don't have to put in the zeros, you can put in MK or B.
I thought you could type it in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could type in like the number 6, and you can hit like the letter M, and then hit enter, and then it pulls out. So they've just taken out the middleman of like, I don't even know what this does, because like you still have to type in the number 6 if you want to take out 6 mil.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't understand.
Maybe people don't actually know that you can type in the letters and they like will act as K, million, or billion.
I'm just gonna do it right now because I'm curious.
I feel like if anything, this is gonna make you accidentally withdraw the wrong amount unless it's spaced out correctly on mobile.
Oh, they did change it. Okay, so before your whole keyboard would show up, now it's just the numbers.
Oh, okay. That's good then.
Okay, that makes more sense. I mean, I guess it's obvious.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess that's kind of cool. But there's now a space between displaying names in the friends list, ignore, and friends chat channel and all that stuff on mobile, so it's a lot easier to delete your friends. Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. There's an additional option that's been added when tapping a player's name on mobile, which will display their previous name. This will then appear red for a few seconds before changing back to their current name.
I hope, I kind of wish it would do that for your clan chat, because one of my fears is that I'm going to accidentally click someone's name one day, and it's just going to automatically kick them.
Yep. That's pretty much it, though, for mobile updates. We do have some more to talk about, though. Okay, hold on. Before we move on for mobile, how much do you struggle when it comes to turning your camera on mobile? Do you struggle at all?
I don't struggle. I wouldn't say struggle, no.
Okay, does it take you 3, 4, 5 attempts to turn your camera at times?
Maybe it's not enough for me to make a note of it being like, this is a problem with mobile.
Okay, so maybe maybe it's just my phone. Maybe it's just stuff that I'm doing, but like, let's say, cause I do like most of my farming runs on mobile. Like I'll be taking, a big dump or something, taking a nice steamer, and like, I'll sit there at times and like, just be trying to like, I'll sit there for like 30 seconds at times, like trying to fucking turn my camera or like zoom in and out. Like I find it could just be my phone though, cause it is like a Samsung Edge, S7 Edge or whatever. I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's like a me issue. I don't know if anyone has this issue, but I find there's like, I now have an idea of there's like a tiny square on my screen that like works as a camera function. So like I now kind of could use it like better. But like I was thinking about like trying to do like raids and stuff on mobile just for fun. But I like can't turn my camera around, and because you can't zoom out that far, like you kind of have to turn your camera around a lot when you're doing especially like a solo raid like fighting Ohm. You have to turn your camera to find the white portal to like pair up with, because it doesn't show up in your minimap or anything. And I know in like a moment's notice I wouldn't be able to turn, and I have to just do a 50-50 and then probably die.
I think I might just not be noticing it as well, like turning the camera angles, because since I've played a lot of games on my mobile phone, some games are just horrendous for that. So even though it might be a slight problem for old school RuneScape, overall I find it's one of the more polished games on mobile.
It's definitely like nice, but it could be like I said, it could be a me issue. I find the camera angles is a headache for me, but yeah. Whatever. Just want to make a side note. If anyone has that same issue, let me know. I don't know if I'm just like, maybe my thumbs are like
burn the fingerprints off.
Maybe I've just been gaming so hard and the calluses on my fingers are too thick.
Yeah, it's like moving the screen around with rocks. You're just scratching your screen up.
I'm walking around town. Ladies look at my hands. They go, he games. He's an epic elite gamer.
Yeah.
I hope that's what they think.
I mean, one could only assume, right?
I don't know. Size of my forearms, too. They could assume other things. But anyways, let's talk about some other things. So, PvP changes. I think we mentioned this last episode, but they have implemented it this week. The first being upgrading the looting bag functionality, which could not have come sooner enough. I found the looting bag was extremely clunky. Shout out to, well, I guess it wouldn't be changed with KBD, but like when you do KBD and you have 10 seconds to fucking jump into the wilderness and throw all your shit in the bag, that was really annoying, especially when you jump out and some dudes just try PKing you. That's happened a couple times. But anyways, so what they've done is they've added a left click option. So you now left click and you open up your looting bag. And it looks different, so you can now tell if it's open, and everything you pick up will go directly to your looting bag.
Oh, that's nice.
They've also reduced the cost of it from being 1,500 points to 10,000.
150,000.
That's what did I say 15,000? I meant to say 150,000. That, I did not know the looting bag. I've never bought one. I did not know it was that expensive. That is ridiculous.
I don't think anyone's ever bought it, because you just go kill like 30 rats. Max, basically, and you'll get it.
Yeah, that's actually like ridiculous. How come no one's complained about this?
Nobody does it. That's all I can think of. No one
put it in perspective. A tier 1 gives you 50,000, so you need to spend what are they like 130k each? You need to buy 3 of them to get one looting bag.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
What? That is so silly.
No one's doing that. It's the only thing I can think of where it's never been a problem, because people are just like, yeah, this isn't really even in the game.
Yeah. Now though, like I might say, hey, I'm gonna like go on a big, like, hey, I still have 10 sets of fucking PK stuff I haven't used. Maybe I'll buy like a tier 1, have it sit in my bank. If I die and lose a looting bag, I can just like cash it in for points. I don't mind. Now I can get 5. So that's nice. I'm actually really surprised I haven't seen any talk about the bag price, but that is good. Keep in mind, everything in your looting bag will be dropped on death.
Yeah.
I saw on the subreddit, some dude accidentally put his crossbow. He opened up his bag on it, like habit, picked up a crossbow in the Rev Caves, and PKers killed him, and he lost it. And he was like, well, what the fuck? Like, why did I lose it? Like, everything in your looting bag will be dropped on death. By the way, little heads up. So, like, it's not like the looting bag is, like, super overpowered now. You're probably gonna accidentally put your good shit in the bag on habit and then get killed. Which I think that's fair. If you're not mindful, you deserve to lose everything, right? High risk, high reward.
Basically, yeah. Just the people who are accustomed to using it the old way, I guess, but...
Yeah, so that's nice. Anyways, moving on. So PID changes. So Bounty Hunter, PvP, and Tournament Worlds. PID will randomize more often, so every 24 to 36 seconds. We talked about this last episode. The PID will change, so players having, like, priority over each other, so you don't get the infamous Halo 3 kills, where you both, like, shoot each other with your assault rifles and beat each other down and both die. This PID system, like, prevents that from happening as best as it can. It used to be every 60 to 90 seconds, so, yeah, that will make PvP a little bit more fun. A little bit more balanced. I honestly would kind of prefer a Halo system where, like, you might kill each other at the same time. But then again, I'm not, like, the biggest PKer, so maybe if anyone's a big PKer, maybe let us know.
The wilderness would be a looter's heaven.
Yeah.
They see two people kill each other, they just, like, swarm to get that gear.
But, like, I think I mentioned it before, if you look at, like, YouTubers, their videos, they almost always have PID, and PID is very important in terms of, like, you both going for an AGS spec at 60 HP. Well, if you're gonna hit that 60, you're gonna get the kill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you both are going to hit a 60, whoever has PID actually gets the kill, which is kind of silly. But what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not much you can do.
The way PID works in duel arenas has not been changed, so don't worry. All you gamblers, you're safe. Bounty Hunter targets in Deep Wilderness. You can now speak to the Emblem Trader in Edgeville to toggle the ability to receive Bounty Hunter targets above level 10 Wilderness. So if you like to sit in Edgeville and safe, and then call someone a safer, and then tally out, you can only fight those people. And if you like to deep PK, then turn that bitch on, keep it on, use that Bounty Hunter teleport. PvP World rotation has been assigned. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares about that, right? And then we have a little bit of an update of the in-game collection log, which actually is looking really nice.
Yeah, that's it's an interesting idea, and I don't know. Have we talked about this already?
I have no idea. I don't think so. But the way
we're talking about it now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes, the way this collection log works, think of it as a collection log, so it logs everything you collect.
Nice.
So they have tabs for, like, bosses, raids, clues, and then other, and that will just, like, show, like, hey, which items have you got from, like, easies? So if you're trying to get all the items from an easy clue, you can just click the log, look at all of them. They'll be highlighted, or they'll be displaying, like, correctly, I guess. Okay, they're, like, I don't know, they're kind of, like, transparent-esque. Little transparent if you haven't got the item, and then they kind of come out in full color if you have them. It tells you how many items of each that you've gotten, from, like, say, certain bosses, and all that stuff. In terms of, like, uniques and whatnot, it's not going to collect how many air runes you've gotten from, a boss. Or from, like, easies or mediums.
I kind of wish it did that. I thought it would be cool, where you click on the boss, and then let's say you're doing bandos. So it would have the list of your bosses, you click on bandos, and then it would show the bandos monster, the bandos boss, whatever. And then when you had no loot from him, it would just be like a blank log underneath.
Oh,
him.
you'd prefer it to be, like, filled out?
I think it would be cool that as you killed him, let's say you killed him and you got that 16k cash drop, it would show you that it can drop 16k. And then let's say as you get a 25k cash drop, it would change it from cash drop is 16k, but between 16k and 25k. And then let's say you get like a god's, you know what I mean? Like it would kind of fill out as you killed it.
Yeah.
That sounds like it'd be kind of fun just to...
See, honestly, I really like that idea, but it doesn't work in RuneScape. Because every unique has to be pulled, so there's no, this guy drops a dragon pickaxe, It's more of like,
yeah.
Everything that's going to be dropped, except for alchables, but that doesn't really matter too much. I guess, like, someone, like, knowing how much cash it can drop, like, yeah, like, that stuff's really nice, but the issue is that most people can just wiki, and the wiki will do the job for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Every unique is, being pulled. See, this is what kind of bugs me, though, is that I know there's people that have every single Chamber of Zarek item. They've gotten every single item, but it won't be recorded to my knowledge.
Probably not. It's just one of those things that now that this is put in, now it'll be recorded.
Exactly. So if you're like a completionist, because there are people that want to have a completionist, they have to restart if they want to have if there's like ever going to be a completionist cape, because now it kind of seems like there could be in the future once this gets implemented.
I was just going to ask, what are your thoughts on like a collection cape?
I've talked about it before, but I don't like it.
No? I mean, maybe it'll just be cosmetic and it'll actually look nice, unlike the raiding capes.
My issue with... Okay, I like the idea of a collection log. I like the idea of like a player ran completionist type goal. You know what I mean? Where like players like, hey, I want to just do everything. Fuck it. Like, that's cool. I want all the pets. Cool. So if you want a completionist cape, I've mentioned, I think I've talked about this a lot. If you haven't, or if you have heard me talk about this, skip 5 minutes. But, so the issue is that with a completionist cape, it make it cosmetic. Nothing wrong with that. But it's the same thing with like skill cape and max cape and all this shit, is that people are like, man, Jagex, I put so much time into this, and it won't really affect the player base if they add a completionist cape. Perks. Alright, so it's like, well, why doesn't the completionist cape just get the max cape perks? Because it's technically a max cape and more. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. Because maybe they want to wear it while they're doing shit. And then it's like, well, then like, that also includes the achievement diary cape. Or the elite diaries, where you have like, the quest cape and the diaries, like all that stuff, and the music cape. Okay, well, let's just put all those into it now. And it's like, it turns into this thing where, with RS3, where the completionist cape is fucking like pretty good, where it's like an Inferno cape meets a Mage Arena 2 cape meets a, Ava's Assembler cape, where like the completionist cape is the best. So now people want to get it. And then people get upset when they, like, can't get it. So, like, what people would do in RS3 to get their completionist cape is they'd buy boosts, or buy, like, leeches, which you join a group and get people to kill a boss for you, so you can get your completionist cape done.
True.
I guess it wouldn't really be as simple, but, like, think of it as, like, a hardcore Iron Man. You want... Or like an Iron Man, I don't know, like let's say you can't do Theater of Blood because you're too bad, and you buy a leech to get a Theater of Blood kill, or to get a bunch to, I guess that would get pretty pricey. But you know what I mean? Like it turns this weird thing where like the base idea of it is cool. Like I like the idea of a cool cosmetic cape that no one really has, but then it's like, let's buff it so it's actually useful. Okay, well now it's really good, so now everybody wants it. Alright, well now let's make it more accessible because people are upset they can't get it.
Yeah, true. Okay. Scrap the cape idea. What about, so RuneScape 3 has this, so don't let that turn you off right yet. But what if we added an examine player option when you right click them? This allowed you to see the gear they're currently wearing, let's just say, or maybe not, whatever. But it also allowed you to look at the collection log, and you could view what other players have received from other monsters and clue scrolls and maybe it'll show you how many they've actually killed of those monsters in that screen.
See, I'm down because, let's say 2-3 years in the future. Because obviously day one, it's useless, but I'd say 2-3 years goes by and the game is still up. And someone is like level 80 with, third age of Dragon Warhammer. And you're like, dude, how many bonds did you buy? No, dude, I just got super lucky at Bandos. I got 18 tacits back to back. And you like go look at their log and see if they actually have ever gotten an item. And you're like, you're fucking lying, dude. Look at your collection log right now. Shame. Everyone shame them. Throw Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go. Yeah. Shame on you.
Maybe they'll add like a Jagex tab. You click it and it's like, he has received 20 bonds from the boss Jagex.
Dude, honestly,
maybe not that one.
Jagex would never do that, but I would love to, like, imagine seeing some dude walk around, you're like, okay, examine 58 bonds. Holy shit. You know what I mean?
Talk shit.
Yeah, everyone start typing. Type faster.
Everyone look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's got a well-paying job and not enough time to play RuneScape.
Yeah. I would like that, actually. That'd be pretty cool. Even if it does show what equipment you're wearing and whatnot. I would like that, an examine
It
player
would
option.
be kind of interesting to have, an examine player so you can look at someone else's log.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for yourself, it's kind of nice, but I feel like you won't look at it too often. But,
It's something to screenshot and put on Reddit for easy karma.
Yeah, that. Also, like, I don't know if everyone's like this, but when I'm playing, I'll just randomly right-click someone. I'm on RuneLite, so I'll right-click them and click look up just to see their stats, just to look at how many clue scrolls they've completed and see if they have any 99s, because, I don't know, I'm just curious. You know what I mean? I do it to a lot of people. I'll just be running to Zulrah, let's say, and I'll see like 5 people there, and I'll just right-click a couple of them to see what their stats are for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't know, do you ever do that?
I do it, but for negative reasons.
You want to just get mad?
No, I do to see if someone's a bot or a gold farmer. I'll look them up, because you can tell very easily by looking at their stats. Or someone's a scammer. You can easily tell someone's a scammer by looking up their stats. They all have like 27, 23 rune crafting, maybe like 30. Wait, actually, let me see. It's like, what is it? 32 rune crafting? They all have like the base minimum. I'm not saying if you have like that, you're a scammer. But like if they're like doing some fishy shit, you can like look up their stats, and typically they're going to be like a high combat level, but you can like, oh, they just did NMZ. They probably just did NMZ for a month or two. I don't know. I'll always do it just to kind of like not judge, but to like confirm my assumptions. Sometimes I'll see like a level 100 or like level 98 doing Zulrah on really good gear, and I'm like, is this guy a gold farmer or a bot? And I'll look them up, and they have like higher total level than me, and they have like 99 rune crafting with like, a lot of experience into it, and you're like, oh, nice. Cool.
Do you ever do this? You'll see someone about the same level as you, so you look up their stats real quickly and look at their total level and compare it to yours, and if it's lower, you just think, pathetic.
I did when I was a lower level, but I'm level 125 now. Honestly, fuck, I should just max my combat. I have a bot. I'm like 400k from like 99 magic. I have prayer bot.
Every time you say that, it sounds like you're like, yeah, I downloaded this bot. I could set it up overnight, and I'll be level 126.
Well, like, dude, it's prayer where I'm getting like 400k an hour. Like, I could get it done in a week so fucking easily.
I mean, like a machine bot.
Oh, true. Like, hey guys, max. True. Okay, I banked. I should say I banked my 99 prayer. Let me start saying that then. Yeah, like I should just do that, but typically if I look up someone, they're either like NMZ prod or they're like max total. So it's never like yeah. And I find like I don't like want to like compare myself to other accounts, because then it's like yeah, I just don't like compare myself to other accounts, because either I go like... I
do it all the time. Maybe it's just me then, but I do it all the time. Especially if they're near my level. I look at them and I'm like, oh, wow, we're about the same total level? Yeah, well, I beat him in farming. Oh, he beats me in hunter. But I beat him in woodcutting. Oh, he beats me in slayer. Oh, but I beat him in... And I just keep going, like... Depends what I'm doing, obviously. So that's why I think they should allow you to examine someone's collection log.
I think they just should, in general. That'd be really neat to, like... Look at how many... This guy has 5 Chaos Elemental pets. Cool. He's gotten the drop 5 times. Because they do show with the update that, like, how many items of a unique that you get. So they will show duplicates, and they will show all that stuff.
Maybe they could add it so that when someone examines you, it shows up in your chat box being like, Deagin is examining you. Similar to when they're trading you.
Yeah.
And you can just... This way, if you're a creeper, you, like, run right up to the person. And you're like, great. I was just trying to report him. Fuck.
Yeah, you're some, like, e-girl, and you just walk to the GE. You can't even read chat. It's just like everyone's examining you nonstop. Yeah. Like, holy shit, stop.
This is a weird dynamic that's been added to the game.
It'd be good for memes, right? A lot of good memes would come out of it.
A solid week.
Yeah. But, yeah, collection log looks really nice. I don't really want to try and describe what it looks like, but it looks kind of something you would assume a collection log would look like.
Yep, that's good.
Tabs, text, items, that good
Pictures.
stuff. Yeah, nice interface. Yeah, so like they don't have a tracking system in place yet. They will once it gets implemented. So if you are going for like a completionist type thing, well, you better restart.
Stop playing.
I do hope that the pets get automatically implemented. If they don't do that, because like they have the pets on record, like they're, you know what I mean. It's not like you can buy a pet. You have to get it yourself. So I would like to see that, like, anything account bound that's cosmetic would be really, hopefully they have it to automatically be put in. I can't imagine having to grind out all the pets again if you're like a pet hunter.
Yeah, you just wouldn't.
Yeah. The world map icon has been enlarged on mobile, so it makes it easier to open. Logging in for the first time since the game update will provide you with a broadcast, which contains a link to the accompanied game update news post. So pretty much we're closing down. We're not making it to 99, not making it to 100. Jagex beat us now. Podcast is dead.
I was wondering, I was like, I thought maybe an alert came up that said, click this alert, you click it, and it's like, we're shutting down every single podcast for Old School RuneScape.
Yeah, we're going to
like, come on, what?
Run it underground. The wilderness.onion, the wilderness.podcast.onion.
You got to search us on one of those ham radios
Yeah.
at a certain frequency.
Yeah. But yeah, so logging in for the first time, it'll be like when they have like any event and there's just like text where your friends list, or if you have split chat enabled, PMs and stuff, but like when they have like the broadcast notifications, that will just happen, so you can quickly look at the updates.
Deal.
Justice armor has been made larger when worn by female characters.
Okay.
Iron Man can now pick up small fishing net at the fishing spot south of Lumbridge. That's nice. That's pretty much it. There's a use option on the hot air balloons. And that now it assumes that you want to travel instead of making you talk to the attendant.
Deal.
Rune pouches can now be taken to Gloriel's tomb if they do not contain any runes. Oh shit.
Interesting.
I was gonna ask you about this, but they patched it. So people found out, and it sucks people found out, but when you're doing Waterfall Quest and you know how you can't bring runes into Gloriel's tomb?
Yep.
People found a way to smuggle runes into there, and it was the easiest thing ever. You just bring rune packs.
That's smart.
Yeah, and you'd open them up once you went in there. So I was like really hoping, because it got discovered a couple weeks ago, and I was really hoping for like Dead Man mode, there would be strats where like you would rush that, hide somewhere, and then open up packs, and then just fucking, get people. Just get them that are rushing Waterfall. Just snag their 10k cash and stuff. But they fixed that, so that kind of sucks. I kind of I know like they need to fix these like exploits, but I really want to see it like put to use beforehand. But yeah, the Blast Furnace door is now available in World 355. The elk value of the T-bow has been raised the same as the Scythe of Vitor, since they're both rather expensive items. This is in response to some unfortunate players who have managed to exchange the bow for its actual elk value.
Exchange it?
I do not know what that means. I don't know if they mean elk it, but they said exchange, so...
That sucks. I guess that sucks.
Yeah. Yep, they have a merchandise survey again. Do that if you want to buy some sick merch and figure out blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Yep, some of the pictures are pretty cool, but they are not Old School RuneScape exclusive. There's also RuneScape 3. I was looking at it, and I'm like, wow, some of these pictures are badass. What is this from? Oh, it's definitely from RuneScape 3.
Yeah. Okay, so for the next update, I guess we have a little bit of an update of making friends with my arm. It's not really an update. I guess I should clarify. It's more of like a dev blog. They've clarified some things. They've changed some stuff around.
They've updated the previous dev blog.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So they've kind of clarified what some of the pits are. So yeah, I guess I'll go through like the change log, I guess. So we'll refer to like the red fire pits as the stamina salt, the blue ones as prayer salt, and green as resource, just to keep it a little more consistent. They've changed some of the locations.
I hope that's just for the dev blog and not actually in game.
Yeah.
Imagine you go to the pit and it's like the stamina pit.
Yeah, it'd be weird. But yeah, so red fire pits referred to as stamina fire pits, blues as prayer, and green as resource. Just to keep it a little bit more clear, I guess. I don't really know. But logs treated with stamina salt will now require a stamina potion dose to be used on the log. Dependent on the type of log, used logs require 1 dose, magic 2, and reds 3. The effect of running past the stamina fire pit has been clarified. So you gain 10 run energy, and your run energy will deplete more slowly, similar to a stamina potion for 30 seconds. every time you, I guess, run into the range of the fire pit. So when you're making your runs to, I guess the 2 altars, like the 2 rune crafting altars, I don't know if that would be enough to like warrant the doses that you have to use.
That's what I'm wondering, because let's say you're at the max dosage. It's 3 doses, right? That's 6 minutes plus 60 energy, right?
Yeah.
So I wish they kind of said how long each of these fire pits would actually last, so you can kind of do the math in your head, but, well, whatever.
Yeah. The prayer fire pits will yield the same effect when burying bones near the fire pit, and the bone crusher also works for this. The bones can also be used on the fire pit. So as long as, I guess, you're within range, any type of burying usage or crushing of the bones will work. They removed and added the number of fire pits, and we'll talk about that. And the quest is now a master level rather than an experienced quest.
I wonder if that means they've buffed the boss a little bit.
I think they might have buffed the experience that you get as well. I don't know if we talked about it last episode, but completing it, you get 2,000... Wait, did they add a construction and agility level requirement? I feel like they might have. I don't really remember. We'll go over the requirements again, though. So you need My Arms Big Adventure, of course, Swan Song, Cold War, and Romeo and Juliet. You'll need level 66 fire making, 68 agility, 72 mining, 35 construction. So those are like the hard requirements, I guess, that you'd need. The definitive, I guess. Might be some weird quest items you might need to pick up along the way, but yeah, I'm assuming, you know that potion in Romeo and Juliet where you give it to Juliet, she goes to sleep?
Yeah, okay.
I'm assuming you have to make one of those. That's like the only reason I can think of for needing to do Romeo and Juliet.
I don't know. Unless you have to talk to one of them. You know what I mean? It could be some silly thing where you need to go to Juliet because she has a necklace of troll speak for some reason, just because she has it. So you got to go talk to her, and she's all like, "Oh, now that you've helped me, here's."
Well, don't they both die in the lore?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so then you have to go to their corpse and dig it up and take the necklace. Maybe you got to take the bones from Juliet, and you have to put them in the fire pit, and you make a necklace out of her bones. Probably not.
Maybe you need her arm bone.
Her arm bone?
Arm.
All right, okay, because of the quest name. That's good.
Anyways, we'll move on. So the rewards you'll get are 2,000 construction experience, 5,000 fire making, 10,000 mining, and you'll love this, Dilz, 15,000 agility experience.
Ooh, I mean, it's 1-0 too short, but you know what? I'll take it. That is fantastic. I don't know why they feel the need to have to release the experience rates. It could have been a surprise, but
yeah,
maybe that's going to cause some people to be like, nope, 15k agility? No, that's 40 minutes of doing agility, and since I have 200 mil, can't have that.
Yeah. I guess there's a little bit more too. So you unlock these salts that we talked about last episode. I don't know if they didn't really specify this, I don't think, but so there's a mine that contains like contains a mineral that can teleport you back to the mine or to the troll stronghold for an easier access to the rooftop herb patch you unlocked in the first quest in My Arms Big Adventure, where you get the disease-free patch. But you'll also get a chance.
Did it say what it is that's going to be teleporting you?
A mineral. They don't specify.
Okay, so now you have another rock to throw into your teleporting arsenal.
Yeah. You'll also get a chance to build a new disease-free herb patch in Weiss. And I think Weiss is it's going to be an ice troll place. That's my guess, because there is the Weiss flowers, whatever it's called, with forget what quest it is, but you have to go get like that flower, and it's like you have to run past God Wars.
You have the toboggan, right?
Yeah. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a nice snowy little area.
Interesting. Okay. So now we have, 7 herb patches in total?
I think so. There's an additional one.
I wonder how that's going to affect the herb prices.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. The thing is that it's disease-free, so now you'll have 3. You'll have the Korend, if you have it unlocked. You'll have the Kurend, the Troll Stronghold, and then this one. I don't really know why they keep introducing patches that are disease-free. It kind of,
It's not like, oh, you can get diseases from it, no point in using it. People would still use it.
Yeah.
That I'm not too sure. But the reason I asked about the herb prices dropping, remember when they made it so the cactus spines, you could harvest more than 3 per patch, depending on what your farming level was?
Mm-hmm.
So I did that in my farming run. I did it beforehand too, but I do it now as well. And I get like sometimes like 7 spines, and it caused the price of them to go from 3.5k each, something like that, all the way down to like 700 each.
Damn.
Make no money off of them anymore. And you make a little bit, but still. I didn't think it would hit that hard.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people just didn't even think about using them. And then now it was brought to everyone's attention, and it got buffed, so now everyone's using it.
Little fun fact, if you're going for the farming pet, I'm pretty sure that has the best rates.
I would assume something like spirit trees or magic trees would.
You might be right. Let me check. Okay, yeah, you're right. Spirit trees are 1 out of 5,000. The cactus is 1 out of 7,000. Calquat is 1 out of 6,000.
But it's probably the best non-tree then. You don't have to wait a whole goddamn day for one attempt.
Teak, mahogany, calquat, and spirit trees are the only thing that beat it.
Yeah.
So not even magic trees. Little fun fact.
Yeah, I feel like they really specified a lot of things. So we should probably just go over this whole update again, or this quest again, because they were super vague, and like I always complain about how they're always so vague, but they've actually gone back and clarified some things. So we talked about how there's 3 types of salts. There's a stamina, resource, and prayer salts. And, you use them with the fire pits, get different effects all around the world. They went and changed a lot of locations and added a bunch more, so it's a little bit better, I guess. So each of these fires have a certain number of charges, determining how often it will grant its benefits before dying out. The higher level logs give more charges, so the treated logs are also stackable, allowing you to reignite the fire without awkward inventory juggling. And the first time you use a fire pit, you'll need to bring a tinderbox, but you'll automatically store the tinderbox in the fire pit, so you don't need to bring any more in the future. So you'll just be able to use your log on the fire pit, and you'll be good.
Cool.
There are special fires, I think we talked about that, but you light them, and they give permanent improvements to the area.
Right, this was the gray fire pits.
Yeah. To specify with the blue fire pits or the prayer ones, each time a fire gives you experience bonus, or gives you an experience bonus, it uses up 1 charge, and then the fire runs, well, once it's out of charges, it'll kind of burn out. So the treated U logs will give 50, magic 100, redwood 150. These fire pits can be found at the Fremenic Isles, Lunar Isles, Graveyard of the Heroes, the Wyvern Cave, and Death Plateau. I'm assuming, the only one I can think of is like Lunar Isles would be Suckwas.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, Death Plateau, what, Trolls? I don't know.
Yeah, Trolls, Fremenic Isle.
Not too sure. We'll go more.
Dagonoths? Karasks from the Slayer Cave?
Well, the Fremenic Isles would be,
oh, yeah.
The symbol is in Nadeznot. The thing is that they moved it from last time. They moved it upwards. It could be Yadazo Ice Trolls. It could be like the Yaks at Nadeznot, but I'm not really too sure. The pictures aren't really the most useful. They just gives you very general location. So stamina, we talked about how you use the potion like on the log, and if you go in an 8-tile radius, you will get your stamina buff, so you'll get some energy and you'll get like a 30-second stamina effect if you're not already affected by the fire pit.
Okay, so you gotta kind of run right past it.
A little bit. So when they say 8 square radius, I think it means like an 8x8 square radius.
Oh, that's
it's like a square of like what, 64 or something. I'm not good at my multiplication tables, but yeah, like it seems like to be a really big area around it.
Thought it was gonna be like a 16 by 16. You know what I mean? Like 8 tiles north, south, east, and west.
True, yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be like an 8x8 square around it. You'll be able to click or tap the fire manually to trigger the effect if the automatic trigger isn't what you want. And you can use like magic redwood, with stamina potions and treat the log. So use will give you 2 charges. Magic will give you 4 and redwood will give you 6 charges.
Okay.
Using 3 doses, you get 3 minutes and 60 run energy?
Yeah, wait, what? Okay, whatever. Sure. That doesn't seem right. Does that seem right to you?
Honestly, it sounds really bad, especially with the hassle of having to, get the salt, make the fire pit, set it all up, bring logs every couple... But the thing is, you have to use your fucking stamina on the logs. You're better off taking a sip.
That's the only thing I could think of, is if somebody wants to save themselves from taking... But you're going to get more benefits from drinking the potion.
The only thing I can think of is that I can't really think of any benefits, because you have to bring the log as you're doing your I'm thinking right now in my mind, astrals or something, right? Astrals or nature. You're when you're doing your root crafting and you're running past and you have to recharge it, you'll dump a log into it. So you have to bring a log. Normally with a potion, you pull out your potion and whatever jewelry you're gonna let's say, I need stamina, and you're doing a rune crafting trip. You pull that out with your runes, and then you take a sip as you're filling up your pouches, and then you deposit your stamina and pull out a full inventory of essence.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to have to remember to do that, but it's really not that big of a deal.
I mean, it's not bad. It doesn't really hurt me at all, but having to bring a log, you're losing an inventory every...
Well, didn't they say you can store some extra logs in it?
Yeah, I guess.
So you could put a bunch into it, 10, and then 30 doses of stamina potions.
I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't think it's going to improve at all. I think it just might make it easier to do rune crafting, but I don't think it'll give you better experience per hour or anything like that.
No, because there'll be that initial filling everything up that's going to give you 0 experience for a minute, right?
Well, I mean, you also have to keep track of, okay, I've gone past this 18 times. I have, if you can stack multiple logs in there, you know what I mean? It's, I feel like it's just going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're near, yeah, we'll talk about where they are. Yeah, and the last one is the resort salt. So those are also the green ones we talked about last episode. So, this will give you a 1 in 3 chance of gaining double quantity of specific resource when training in an area. Each time a resource is doubled, fire consumes a charge. So the example they give is in the Piscatoris fishing colony, it only affects monkfish. So every time you catch a monkfish, it'll go down a charge.
Cool.
So the treated yew logs give 20, magic gives 40, redwood gives 60. The most important, though, is the specialty fire pits that give you a permanent bonus. And I really don't like these.
No? Well, let's quickly go over the green fire pits real quickly, because they show shark, monkfish, magic, yew, red chins, and gray chins. Do you think there's any other resources
chins.
that would...
And black chins.
Is there black chins?
Yeah. In the wilderness.
Oh, there is black chins.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Is there any other resources you think they're missing out on?
Maybe runite ore. They might have wanted to maybe do that. Maybe some coal or something in the mining guild. That might have been nice.
Yeah, why is there no mining?
You know what? Honestly, I think they realized that they kind of put the player base in an area where no one is gonna mine coal manually anymore, because they have things like Motherlode Mine. And they have the blast furnace.
You could put one in Motherlode Mine, though. I mean, would that be that big of a deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the issue is that you don't get extra experience, but it really wouldn't fit. It's a mini game getting buffed by a quest. You know what I mean? That sounds really weird.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know. Anyways, I guess let's move on to the gray fire pits.
So the only one I'm okay with, so I'll list them all. So so the one we talked about it last episode, but the entrance to the God Wars dungeon, you can remove the chilling effect, the snowy stuff that drains your stats, and this would require 60
energy.
Yeah, this would require 60 construction. I think this is fine because if you didn't know, there is a way to not get drained. When you're entering, you can like run if you're quick enough and do it at the right timing. I haven't done it in a really long time, so I can't give you an exact one-to-one guide on how to do it, but I would go through like the hole. I wouldn't use the rock, but you go through like the hole in the wall, you click towards the pit, and then you click something, like you click one of your skills to bring up a skill guide, and that skill guide being up prevents your stats from being drained. You can get hit by a wolf and, whatever might drop or whatever, but you can get through without losing any stats or run energy. And not many people know that. So it's not like this is super OP. It's just like, hey, if someone told you this obscure exploit of like how to get past, certain mechanics in the game. Funny enough, I don't think any YouTube guides tell you to do bandos and stuff talk about it, but whatever.
Probably because they're worried about getting banned for bug abuse.
I mean, if you get banned for that, Jax, come on. There's bigger fish to fry. The brazier in Mortania Swamp. This one actually isn't too bad, but it prevents swamp decay and removes aggression of ghasts. Those little guys.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, you need 50 construction to build that.
Last week.
Yeah, they're listening.
Yeah.
This I don't mind. I feel like this my thing with actually I'll just talk about them all after this. The next one is the Lumbered Swamp Cave. It acts as a permanent light source for the area. You would need 35 construction to build this.
Right.
There will be one in the Giant Moles layer. Acts as a permanent light source for the area. 35 construction to build it.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Cave and Mostly Harmless acts as a permanent light source for the area. Requires 35 construction to build.
Interesting.
And those are all the special, unique ones.
All right, so you're okay with the God Wars.
Yeah.
Mauritania, are you okay with that one? What are your thoughts?
So, I was thinking about it. It's nice and all, but the only, I'm assuming most people, by the time you're getting this quest done, you have, means to get through the swamp quickly. You have either your Bergdorot, Pants teleport, you have Barrow teleports. There are so many different ways to, get through the swamp, and you only really go there for, a couple quests.
Maybe a clue scroll, though.
But you're gonna need food for that?
If you gotta dig, you gotta fight one of those dudes.
Are there any hards or masters that require you to do that, though? And if so, losing one shark, I don't know.
It's not that big of a deal. And you're right, I haven't run through that area in a long time. Maybe if you're an Iron Man.
I haven't done it since Nature Spirit on my main. So I feel like that won't really be used.
You use it one time, though. You set it up and you never have to worry about it again, right?
But if I'm running through there, first of all, I'm questioning what the fuck am I doing? Why am I running through there? No, but I'll bring staminas. I don't need food to run through there. And if you do need food and stuff, you probably can't do this quest unless they're trying to set it up for a low level. Is I really want this quest done for all these things. It's going to really benefit me as a level 50. Let me get 72 mining, 68 agility, 66 fire making, 35. Well, I guess you'd need to get 50 construction.
Yeah, but it might be just something that, similar to with your medium clue scroll stash boxes, someone might go through, bang them all out, fuck it. They're made, they're lit, I never have to worry about it again. If I ever have to run through there for whatever reason and I need the food, I don't gotta worry about the little ghastly boys.
It works, I guess. It's kind of nice, but it's also really weird because it's got such a high construction level, and it only really benefits low-level people. That's the same thought I have for the Lumbered Swamp.
Yeah, I don't find myself going through there too often.
That, and it's weird that they want to take out 3 light sources. It's not that I have a problem with it, it's that it comes off as really lazy. It's okay, this is going to be sweet. We're going to have all these fire pits, we're going to make the sweet quest. Okay, so we're going to have chance to get double resources. People wanted that. People complain that they don't want bots to benefit from it. Bam, good solution right here. Sweet. Staminas, people don't runecraft the way they used to anymore. They just do like blood runes and ZMI. Okay, well, we'll add staminas everywhere, including ZMI. Cool, that works. Prayer, I mean, it's prayer, fuck it. No one complains because, prayer is expensive. We'll add that.
Sure.
And then we have these cool, special fire pits. We're gonna, hey, we'll make it so you can not get chilled by the God Wars dungeon, because, like, it's a pain in the ass when you've done 500 kills and you have to, like, click your UI to avoid the mechanics. That's stupid. Let's add that. Okay, cool. How about the Mortania Swamp? So lower levels can benefit from this. Cool. And then they're just like,
where do you need to use a light source in the game? Let's just fucking put one in each one of those.
Well, like,
areas.
These are added in the revision. I think these last 4, they had one special fire pit, right? Which is for the God Wars.
Last week they had, I think it was last week, but it was the God Wars and then also the Lumberge Swamps.
Oh, okay, so they just had those 2.
Yep.
And then, so they're like, well, we should have more fire pits. Okay. Dilz mentioned Mortania. Dope. Did they mention anything else? No. Shit. Okay, let's just add more permanent light sources to everywhere. How about this? Once you do this quest, you never need a candle, or better yet, you never need like a bullseye lantern. You don't need those anymore. Let's just fucking add these pits everywhere.
It does seem a little bit lazy. It seems like their first look at it was, okay, maybe 2 isn't enough of the gray fire pits. Maybe we should add some more. Like you said, what are we going to do? Well, we'll just throw them in the areas that require light sources. It does make me wonder why they're all stuck at 35 construction. Maybe they want to have it so, like, if it needs to take away from a light, if it needs to add to a light source, just 35 construction. But Lumberge Swamp Caves versus the Giant Mole's Lair versus Mossly Harmless Caves are all kind of a big difference in what levels are going there to do whatever task.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta keep in mind there are random noobs. Like, I have a buddy who goes and kills Giant Mole, and he's like level 70, and he just like brings a whip and just fights him. Doesn't have the Fowler. You just like, I like killing him. You don't have the Fowler Hards? Nah. Oh. You should go do that. I know, but I don't want to have to get full prospectors. Oh, okay, man, have fun. You know what I mean? There are people, but obviously they shouldn't make content for fucking idiots. I'm kidding. But, I don't know. Like, I don't know, why wouldn't they just, like, literally off the top of my head, there is a hunting spot in the wilderness, or not in the wilderness, in the desert, the orange salamanders. Why don't you just add one there? You don't need, to drink water scans when you're at those nets and you're doing the salamanders.
Not a bad idea. I mean, it doesn't really make sense lore-wise, but
I don't know. Yeah, hey, man, you gotta beat fire with fire. Gotta beat the heat with more heat.
Yeah,
or like maybe I don't know, something to do with agility pyramid. That would be really useful. Actually, might be a little OP now that I think about that, but I don't know. Make it you don't fail as much. I don't fucking know, but they could have like
maybe put it at the pyramid plunder, and you can like pray at the fire pit, and it will tell you what door the dude's in, so you don't have to guess every time.
Or do something to like remove the poison, some sort of poison cleansing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like they could kind of space these around to like some interesting places. She's like, you don't need light sources. That's kind of boring.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, the Giant Mole in particular, because one of his mechanics is that he puts out your light source when he digs. But then again, by the time you're got this quest done and you're doing that,
does he put out your light source if you're using a candle?
I think a candle, yeah. Maybe not like a bullseye lantern.
I've always used a bullseye because they can't go out.
Yeah, true. So maybe that makes more sense.
I would like a fire pit in Isfadar that like maybe helps you fucking navigate. So when you forget your teleport thing or you realize your thing's out of charge and you have to get to the Lieta, you can like easily navigate instead of like going the wrong way every goddamn time.
Yeah, you don't have to open up the old quest guide and then pretty much do the quest over again. 'Cause you're like, okay, how do I get to this spot? Oh, okay.
It'd be nice though, you get to the center, you light a fire pit, and maybe it clears like a shortcut path.
Burns down the whole forest.
Yeah, burn the whole fucking thing down. I like that. That's good.
It's just a valley. You could just walk through it.
Yeah.
No more elves either. Guess what? The elves, they just kind of stood there and, oh no, we're stuck in it. And they're stupid and decide to make it the only entranceway was a cave, so none of the fire trucks on Gielinor could actually get to Turanwa. Now the elves are all on their own.
Yeah, and Prif Dinas hasn't even been made yet, so...
Yeah, so they can't get into it. They're just sitting outside and be like, man, it's been under construction for like 17 years. Maybe we shouldn't be sitting around the campfires and fishing trout.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
I just feel like it's just kind of stupid to take out light sources for everything. Not stupid. Not stupid. Lazy. Lazy. Yeah. I mean, I get it. You don't want to add every 3 steps you're lighting a new fucking fire pit, but make them a little more interesting,
At the same time, I can kind of see it where most people who complete this quest, they're not really going to the light source areas that much. And, then again, you're taking away a whole set of items, all the lanterns, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they should introduce some new cave that you need to use the lanterns for it. I mean,
there's probably some cave we can't think of that you need a lantern for. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. But, no. I've always just instinctively, if I'm going to any of these caves, I bring a light source.
It's what you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have just liked to see something more unique. I don't know. Maybe I'm harping on it a bit too much.
Quick little pitch. So what would you do if you couldn't build these lanterns, but instead you'd have to obtain, let's say, metal shards, and they were only obtainable from these new ice trolls released from this quest? And let's say you had to get, red metal shards and blue, green, and gray.
Oh, the salts to make the fire pits?
Not the salts, but you can't just make the fire pits with construction. You had to obtain a new unique material that was only obtainable from these new ice trolls. Maybe you can make them tradable too, so they're kind of worth some money. And this way, if you wanted to build these, they were permanent once you built them, but you would need to go obtain the shards first, instead of just bringing your hammer and then some nails and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Regardless, I'll do this quest, and then I'll go and make all the fire pits. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and make all the fire pits. And if I have to go kill trolls, I think that's a good idea. I think that's probably going to be the case, though. I don't really, unless it's bring steel bars and...
Golden leaf, 5 laws...
Yeah.
An oak, teak, and a mahogany tree. Plus the seeds. I don't know why, but you got to bring the seeds for some reason.
Some Zalra scales.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm actually wondering if Weiss will have an entrance to the wilderness.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
How would you feel about that? A quick entry to agility training area and stuff like that. Because where's the only reason why I bring it up, if you guys don't know from the map, it's the new area is probably going to be put just north of Godwar's dungeon, which is just west, just outside of the wilderness. So what if they had an entrance that was near the Chaos Altar or something?
What if they expanded the wilderness a little bit? Not too much, but just a little bit. You could leave it blank for now, and if you ever wanted to add something in the future, maybe some dirt nasty ice troll.
Yeah.
Boss.
I mean, we talked about it before, but this could have been used for another raids area.
Still can. Underground raid.
Another one.
Okay, underwater cave. Ooh, an underwater raid.
It's been proven everything that's underwater in video games is shit. Every underwater level sucks.
Yeah.
Just so I wouldn't really be down.
Well, you can manage your air levels, maybe, and you could have your those flippers that make you go faster underwater.
Mudskip flippers or whatever.
Yeah, the mudskip flippers. Anyways, your thoughts on this, yay or nay, on the rewards and the quest as a whole?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly feel like the quest's rewards are a little lackluster. Only because it is, so you finish the quest, and then you have to go fucking make all these pits. There's like, what is there? There's 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, what is that, 23? Might be missing 25. A couple. Is it 25? Am I missing 2? I don't know. I count 23 right now quickly. But you have to go make them all, and then having to do upkeep while you're doing resources or like rune crafting. I mean, I guess, 5 of them you don't, but you make them once. But I feel like it's such a hassle for something that's kind of like, meh, it's alright. Like if I do trolls, if I have a troll task, I'm not gonna be doing them at Death Plateau. I always do them at Yadazo Ice trolls, and like you should too, for it's way better experience. And I don't
get actual money.
Yeah, and like looking at the placement of the fire pit, it's over at Nada's Knot. I don't really do anything over there. Lunar Isle, it's like, okay, suck was, but it's in the southern area. It's like, why can't you just put it in the northern area where it's like actually fucking useful?
Yeah, that's true. Now you gotta choose. Am I gonna go cannon them and get great experience, or I'm gonna not cannon them and get prayer experience?
I know they don't want to make things too overpowered, but like now it's just, they're just all so inconvenient. They're all like, even the staminas, I can't think of it being useful. If like you get half the effect of a normal potion, but you also lose an inventory slot, and then it's even harder to maintain. Now, if you're doing lava runes or steam runes, the worst thing is trying to micromanage all your jewelries on your teleport charges, and if you misclick one, then everything is thrown out of whack. But that's so you have to micromanage 2 jewelries and your staminas. It's really annoying. I can't imagine having to micromanage like a jewelry, your energy, and then like keeping track of how many times have you tagged this fire pit.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Runelight might have a thing that like you can right click and tag and it tells you how many charges I have left, but then like it just, oh fuck, let me bring up stamina, let me use it on the log. Okay, now let me bring the log down. Like, I feel like everything is okay. Like, oh yeah, it's cool. But then the more I I would like try and like, would I use these? No. I honestly don't think I would use any of them unless they come out to be like more experience per hour or something. And it's like, you get better rune crafting experience. Of course I'm going to use it. Like, I don't know. They don't seem convenient at all. I feel like they do the exact opposite.
Yeah, like, I agree with you. The rewards, lackluster. I'm not entirely thrilled. I'm not like, oh, I gotta do this quest day one. I might do it on day one. Mainly because I'm more interested on the new troll city. I'm expecting it to be a city. It could just be another cave with like 6 trolls in it that are like
pulling each other's arms.
Yeah. What else we got?
That's pretty much it. They pulled like a bunch of like things that are, there's 28 polls, but it's like, I don't really want to go over them all because would you like the quest? Would you like a new disease-free patch? Herb patch? Should you like unlock the ability to teleport to the troll stronghold? Should they add this brazier, this brazier, this brazier? You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. Go check out the voting polls though. Make sure you vote. Because I don't know if all these will pass.
But I feel like the problem is they put so many on there that a lot of people are just going to vote without thinking too much of it. Like, you're really going to open up the map and like, yeah, I'm cool with this one, and boom.
For a master's quest, I think these rewards are pretty inconvenient. I mean, it's cool, but they kind of, this quest, like, I guess my final thoughts on it, this quest, the rewards they came out with, they either have to commit to them being a little bit broken in one, like maybe them buffing one thing by a decent amount in one area, or they make it completely useless and they've gone with like making it kind of inconvenient, but it's fucking everywhere in the game now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is more of a headache for me. I would have really preferred like hey, you have a chance to get double chins at the wilderness, and then they add, like, their gray pits. Or maybe just a bunch of permanent pits everywhere that, like, you know, do shit. And so they just, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I guess that's it for the updates. We don't have anything else to talk about.
True. Okay, well, I did see some things going on in the news, so or not news, but within the community. So I guess first things first, RuneScape Classic got shut down this week. They had their final hour where a bunch of people were on for it. They had a certain time that they were going to be closing it, but then they left a little bit longer so that a streamer who was kind of going through and experience some of the content, he was able to go and complete Legends Quest and get his Legend Cape. And
yeah, he went and did all the quests and everything, right? It's like a build-up for the closing of Classic.
Yeah, and a lot of people were watching him and rooting for him to finish it, so then Jags decided to leave it open just for a little bit longer so we could actually complete all of that. Things got a little emotional on his stream, which was, I guess it was pretty heartwarming. Some wholesome streaming going on, but yeah, it's closed down now, and that's all she wrote, I suppose. The end of an era. I was surprised that there wasn't any, like, Devblogs. Like, it caught me off guard completely. I thought there was going to be, like, more of a build-up to it so that more people were aware, but I guess unless you're frequenting Twitter and Twitch and maybe even the subreddit, like 24/7, good chance you might have missed it, because I completely missed it. I might have went out that day or something, right?
Yeah.
So I was surprised there wasn't a Devblog that came out a week beforehand. Yeah, it's RuneScape Classic's over. Thoughts on are you heartbroken over that one?
No.
Yeah, I would dabble on it from time to time, but no nostalgic factor for me, because when I started playing the game, it was like literally right after RuneScape Classic was transitioning to RuneScape 2. I think it was in the beta even when I started. I can't remember, but so I never really experienced RuneScape Classic myself. I would just go back and play it when they had the Classic servers open. Like, I'd play it back in like 2004, 2005, and yeah, it was a bit dated.
Honestly, they should have shut down Classic a long time ago. I tried playing it a bit. I might have talked about it. I don't even know. Might have been before the podcast. Might have been during. I don't know. But I tried getting into it. I got like base 40s and stuff like that. And everyone just fucking bots. And like everyone has like, it's like a game where everyone who plays has so much money and so much of everything that I logged on, had like 20 mil instantly, was given full rune set, dragon, like everything. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to grind gear anymore. Someone gave me a bunch of food. And then they're like, yeah, all right. And then like, welcome, download this botting program and have fun. And you're like, oh, okay. And then like everyone bots. That's like all people did. Cause like, you can't get banned.
Yeah.
Like, you can't...
It was
the player base, like, I was in a Skype group that had the whole RuneScape Classic player base, and it was like 70 people. Like, and they all, like, would bot on just multiple accounts and shit. Like, I don't know. The game was fucking dead. Everyone who was like, oh, I'm gonna totally miss this game, like, all you did was bot just to duel people. That was it.
That was kind of the cool thing about it, is where you could duel anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
That's all said and done with. I guess my most experience with that game is looking up RuneScape money-making guides and following on to like a RuneScape Classic money-making guide and like trying to follow it, and it would tell you like, oh, you can exchange your tuna for certificates, and then you can exchange your certificates for this much money. And I'm looking around being like, where the fuck are these certificates? Oh, you have to go to Draenor Village to get my certificates.
Yeah.
Well, who am I talking? I've talked to everybody. No one's giving me these certificates. Because back in the game, back in the day, you couldn't note items, I think. So that was their way around it, was you could exchange for certificates. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really get too far into it. But yeah, she gone now.
Yeah.
But not just RuneScape Classic closed. Following suit, RuneScape Chronicles officially closed.
Good riddance.
The card game.
Good riddance. It was so bad.
It wasn't. It was cool. It was a unique game.
It was so bad.
They took their Hearthstone and like Magic Gathering playstyle, completely changed it. Unfortunately,
Changed
they
it
just
by wiping they take a big nasty dump, they wipe their ass with the concept, and then they gave it to you. So like flushing it, they just like here you go.
I thought it was kind of cool, but unfortunately, they just kind of put the game out one day and they're like, all right, make us millions. And they like never really updated it too much and is basically doomed for failure.
I really like card games. I'm not like the best at them. I really do love them. I'm usually playing one at some point. Like usually it's like Slay the Spire or Hearthstone. I play a little bit every day, but really hated Chronicles. And like, I think the main reason why the game died was that so if you never played with Chronicles, the whole thing was it's obviously you against another person, but you'd make a deck, and the way you guys would like fight is that you each had characters, and they were based on the RuneScape 3 lore. So like, if you didn't know, if you like look at Twitch or something, and there's that like, who's that dude in the armor with the RuneScape section? His name's Raptor, and I only know this from Chronicle. I don't know any lore, but I know Raptor, and there's like, you pick like certain people, you can be like Vanica and shit like that, which was kind of cool, the Slayer Master, but you would pick all these like specific heroes from the game, and you would use cards to buff them up, and then you would use other cards as well to place monsters on your playing field. And the way it would work is that your character would walk from point A to point B, and let's say there's like 5 intervals or 5 points within you walking towards the end, where you would place like things to buff up your guy and then monsters, and he would kill monsters, and like doing that would like give you more like damage. Like, you would like kill some shit along the way, and once you got to the end, you guys would like fight each other. And then the whole point of the game was you could also play cards to fuck with them. You could buff their monsters, but the thing is, you don't know what monsters they're playing, and you don't know what they're actually doing. You're like trying to like outplay your opponent, but you don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what you're doing. And there's like zero mind game because there is so much RNG to the game. The game was literally just do random shit, and you'll probably win if you have better cards. Because if you focus too much on like doing cool shit with your guy, they're gonna keep dropping these cards that like buff the fuck out of the minions you play, and that one time it'll hit like a strong minion that you place that like will be tough for your guy to kill, but it'll give you a good buff if you kill it. And then he's like, now he does double damage, and now you're dead. Okay, well, how would he know that? I don't know. He kind of just guessed it, 'cause I haven't played that in 6 turns. It would be fun like playing against bots and stuff, but if you played against other players, you realize just what a shit show the game was.
It had potential because it was kind of unique, but they didn't give it much love, which caused it to be an RNG fest. You know what I mean? There wasn't too much strategy involved. Like, there was a bit, obviously, but
they were too scared of having a Hearthstone clone, so they just added some completely ass-backwards system on how the game actually worked, where it literally worked like backwards, where you're like playing cards to attack yourself with.
Yeah, and I feel like part of the problem with that was that they wanted it to make them money, but they didn't want to spend too much money on the game, so they'd have maybe one guy doing it on his tap time.
Yeah.
They
like a RuneScape trading card game would have been really cool. Like, it would be kind of cool to like, let's just say they completely ripped off Hearthstone, and instead of like Hunter, you could be Vanica or like Neve or something. You'd be Gnome Child instead of a mage. Wise Old, like that would have been kind of cool, even if it's like kind of stupid, where you're like playing, level 3 rats and stuff. They could have like, I don't know, if they like kind of, not to sound like a dick, but if they kind of sat down for 5 minutes and thought about what the end goal of what they're making was, the game could have been actually like really good.
Yeah, I feel like they took a half measure on that one, and it kind of showed after a while.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, because they have shut that game down.
Yeah, that was a solid, 3 years?
Something like that, but like the dev work on it
stopped after
declined
like
a year. It declined at a fast rate. So, unfortunate. So, 2 games gone in 1 week.
One game was born and died like in the time of Oldschool being around. So that's kind of nice.
And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was some more Rev Cave drama.
Nice.
So I saw a post on the subreddit posted by Gan Chocolest. Basically, the thread boiled down was that in certain worlds, mainly being the high total level worlds, like the 2.2k worlds or the 2000 worlds, since it's such a high requirement to get in there, it's kind of nice if you're able to go there for the revs, because most PKing teams won't be coming to that one unless they're like a very end game PKing team. But what was happening was some clans were taking over the worlds. They would not force you, but they would basically say, pay us 25 mil, and you can have this Rev Caves unlocked for 24 hours. If not, they're going to kill you and then make sure you can't use that world.
Yeah, extortion. Who the fuck would pay for that? One, you're not going to make like $1 million an hour there. You're not going to, like, on average, you're not going to be playing that for 24 hours, right? You're not going to, like, make a bunch of money. Another clan can just log in and clear you. Like, they don't have 100 guys defending you. And, like, honestly, it's an idiot trap. It's like a pyramid scheme. If you fall for it, like, that's your fault. Like, that is the stupidest thing ever. Who would ever agree to that?
So, yeah, the point of this post was that he was hoping some JMods could look into it and do something to prevent that from happening, from clans just taking over a world and then forcing you to pay the money in order to gain access to it. And whether or not, like, you're not paying for protection, maybe you are. In the post, he says other people who had paid the money end up getting skull tricked either by the clan or getting attacked by another clan, even though he paid the fee. So he was kind of pissed at that. I find it weird that skull tricking has become this new. They skull tricked me. It's just
no, you didn't get skull tricks. You're an idiot.
Yeah, for the most part.
Hey,
the only one I can think of is if you have auto retaliate on and you have the scythe.
Yeah,
and there's like 2 other people there. That's maybe one trick you could do, I guess, but.
You want to hear something amazing? Just go to your player options, your player attack options, and disable attack players. You can't get skull tricked anymore. Damn! It's so easy to not get skull tricked. They have an option that that should not be an option in the game. Like, you should not be able to enable something that makes it so you cannot attack players unless you manually cast a spell on them. Like, that's the only way you can attack them. Is if you, like, click Teleblock or Ice Barrage and you click another player. Like, there's no reason to be getting skull tricked ever.
Yeah, I think the problem is that they're saying they got skull tricked, but in reality, it's more like they attacked someone and they're like, I might kill this guy. And then the guy runs off screen, and then his buddy who has a similar name and same getup runs onto the screen, and the person's like, okay, I'm going to continue attacking this person to kill him. And it's a different person this time. Now you're skulled. So it's more like you're being greedy. Not greedy, but
illiterate.
You're trying to fight back. Sure, yeah, sure. Because when I see skull tricking, it kind of makes me think like, well, they threw a rotten tomato at me and it caused me to skull automatically. You know what I mean? Like, it's an actual bug of some sorts.
Yeah, they shouldn't call it skull tricking. Just, why don't you call it, I fucked up? How would that?
I guess technically it is a skull tricking.
I mean, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, okay. It's not, like, all the skull tricks I know is you're left-clicking a loot pile, someone logs in. People have a similar name, and you didn't look carefully enough. Like, if you don't want to skull, don't fight people.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Like, that's it. If you get skulled, well, you wanted to fight someone, that's your fault. How about this? I was trying to kill someone, and I realized I have a skull, and I got punished for it. Like, I don't know. It just bugs me that, like, everyone says, like, they act like skull tricking is a really bad thing, but if you look at all the skull tricks, it's always because the other person wants to kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, PVMers hate PKers so much, well, then why are you trying to kill people as well? Even if you got, you know what I mean? It's like, be prepared to skull. If I ever get skull tricked and I lose, like, my bank, that sucks, but that's my fault entirely.
Yeah, your reaction should be, "Aw, you tricked me."
Yeah. Oh, shucks. Oh, heck.
Gosh darn it. Yeah. Heavens to Betsy. Anyways, a lot of people were commenting for one of the JMods to take a look at this, and I don't know what they expected the JMod to do, to look at the clans doing it and just do a mass ban, but the response from Mod Aiza was, "Alrighty, so I've been tagged a few times and mentioned on Twitter regarding this. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm known for saying things as they appear to me, so here it goes. Paying for protection within the wilderness is nothing new. People have been doing it forever. Examples being camping wilderness bosses for pets, safe travel for a hardcore Iron Man to do Magic Arena 2, the Wildy Altar for the best experience rates, etc. If there are other things going on that involves rule breaking, they'll be looked into by the anti-cheating team. However, this is the wilderness, and PvP action is most certainly within the rules. There's nothing stopping a group getting together and taking control of the Revenant Caves themselves, and as such, I personally don't see locking down the Revenant Caves and charging those that want safe farming there as being against the rules. Is it fun for those unable to farm without paying a fee? Absolutely not, but there are plenty of other worlds to be used, and well, if you aren't really happy paying the fee, but want to farm Revenants on one of these worlds, you could always take over the area by force." So then a Redditor, USB, says, "I agree with your viewpoint, except what about people who are scammed? People who pay and are killed by clan members or not protected and allowed to die at the hands of another PKer while that first clan sits back and does nothing. If they protect enough people to make it seem legit but then scam others, how will you handle that? With this kind of organized de facto mafia, I see that as a strong possibility. So sure, you cannot pay and take your chances. Be part of a clan to try and overthrow them or just hop. But if you do pay and you don't get what you paid for, that's a scam, and to not address that issue is worrying." So then Madaiza says, "I don't know about the scamming situation, but I personally don't see how anyone could guarantee your safety on a world that could at any time become overrun by another group of players. For that fact alone, I would never pay a fee thinking I had 100% immunity, and I would recommend that anyone who does pay understands the risks of doing so." Anyways, I just want to bring this up because I feel like this is kind of a unique thing that happens only in sandbox MMOs, where this situation can kind of happen.
Yep.
Where we've talked about it before. We say that all the time. It's kind of bothering me. But anyways, just because you lie about something doesn't mean it's a scam all the time. I don't know. I don't feel like if you were to pay for protection from a clan and then they either did not protect you or maybe even killed you, I don't know. Is that a scam? I guess technically it is. Here I'm doing the little runaround game with myself.
Is there any proof that it's the people scamming and maybe another clan just logs in and kills them?
Well, let's pretend it is the same clan that offers protection and then doesn't give it to them.
Technically, you're getting scammed out of a service you're paying for, but the thing is that how can they guarantee that? And how can you, like, how do you assume that they guarantee, like, how are you confident that, like, nice, I just paid this much money and I can stay here for a day and not get killed once at Rev Caves? No way. Like, that logic makes no sense. Even if they're like they're like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you're in a wilderness. You're like, maybe if it was like Dead Man mode and there's one server, you know what I mean? There's one, you can't like go to this spot and like this world and then log in right under the person. Like, you know, like the only way to get there was to literally run through the entrances. If it was set up like that, then I could be like, okay, yeah, maybe they have people camping. Okay, that's legit. But like the way they have it set up, like RuneScape in general, is that you could pay someone $5 million to get guaranteed a Dagginoth King's World, like, bossing spot. But you can't actually guarantee that because anyone can log in at any time and just start fucking around. Like, it's like an idiot tax. If you're dumb enough to pay money to get protection in the wilderness, like, if you're camping something and then you don't get the service that you paid for, there's only one outcome.
Maybe do your research because there's probably credible like people who will give you that service.
So things like Hardcore Iron Man, Major Arena 2, that it's like, yeah, you're moving around, you have a team follow you around and just PJ and, you have a group of like 30 people. So you sound like 50 mil or some shit, right? You have a group of like, 30 people that like follow you around and like just start dropping everyone that gets near you. Like that is like, okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. But like the thing is that if you're camping Rev Caves, you're there for an extended amount of time. You're like in one area for like, you're paying for a day. So let's say you get 8 hours worth. You're in one area for like up to 8 hours. Like do you really think you're going to be safe for that whole time?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like you just, if you sit down and think about it for a second, like if you're getting like scammed, that's your fault. But that being said, people should be allowed to like offer these services. It's
kind of what makes, it's kind of, these type of things are what make sandbox MMOs like
fun.
It makes them, really fun because you can do these type of things. At the same time, it opens you up for like these exploits sort of. And really, you should just you don't go to Barbarian Assault and find a group of high levels and just PM them saying, hey, if I pay you 1 mil, will you help me get the Barbarian Torso? You might get scammed. But you can definitely go do some research and find an actual clan chat that is more reputable that will offer those services. You just kind of have to do your due diligence, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's these type of things are what kind of make RuneScape and other games like RuneScape pretty cool, that a clan can just lock down an area and can offer you, whether or not they're going to give it to you, that's another story, but they can potentially offer you those services. And the main reason this kind of piqued my interest was that another sandbox MMO game, and I know, Deagin, you've played this, EVE Online, they have to deal with this type of shit all the time, and sometimes it causes all-out wars between different corps or clans. And there was a big one that happened, I think, a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. Are you aware of that?
No, I try to stay away from EVE's propaganda.
But anyways, yeah, these events will only kind of happen on a sandbox game, and they're really cool to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it kind of gives life to the game. If you, like, start banning people for, like, selling services, and then, like, I don't know, it's just kind of comes off as dumb and, like, childish to, like, I don't want to have to pay money to be safe. Like, so there's, like, okay, you can get upset that you're sitting in the new 2200 worlds and you have to pay to be safe, but, whatever. Or you could go there and get killed over and over and over again and then complain. Like I feel like, I don't know, the people that complain about this specific thing, saying like this clan should be banned, are the ones that complain that PKers kill them when they're at Rev Caves all the time. That being said, it probably does feel shitty to like get scammed out of like 25 mil.
But anyways, besides that is basically everything that I had seen going on this week. So let's skip right over it. We're gonna skip lore this week because I mentioned earlier it's just gonna be a crazy week for me. So we're just gonna leave that out. We'll come back to it next week when things slow down a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll just bring this one right on home. So first things first, our episode 99 spectacular. We are going to be having a Q&A for that episode. So if you have any questions or any stories you want to share, you can send it to us on Twitter, email, Facebook, or Discord. We opened up our own little channel for that one. And we've got quite a bit of responses, a lot of questions and stuff, which is kind of cool to see. So that should be fun. I can't wait for that one. And we've had people who send in stories as well of scamming stories and memorable moments from when they were a noob back in the day. And those are always fun to hear. So if you have anything you want to share, definitely do it. But not only episode 99, we also have an episode 100, because that's following on the same week that we started this podcast 2 years ago. And Omnicide on Discord, kind enough to fund a drop party for that. So we're still going to iron out the details. We might have a little fun event tied in with it as well. I'm not too sure, but we're looking at the first week of... It'll probably be the first weekend of September. Let us know what times work out for you, what days work out, and we can figure things out as well. We're going to have to wait a little bit because I'm going to be getting a new job, and we'll have to work around that schedule. but we will get the details soon. And I think that's it for what we have going on. So if you want to get in contact, whether it's to tell us what days work best for you for the drop party, or tell us a story or ask us questions of any sorts, you can get in touch with us either in-game at not at WildCC, but our clan chat is WildCC. Our Twitter is at TheWildernessRS. Our Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. And our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. If you are interested in joining our Discord, you can find a pinned link on Facebook and Twitter. You can click that. It will bring you straight to the server. And I guess if you're unaware what Discord is, because we do have a lot of people coming on to Discord for the first time, but Discord is a very popular program that's going out right now. It's basically voice chat and text chats all mixed together with different channels for different discussions, and you can share pictures and share videos and just kind of hang out in there. Maybe if you're not playing RuneScape, if you're at work or something, you can jump on there and just see what's going on. It's basically like a giant group Skype with different channels. Anyways.
Yep.
Deagin, I think you got some stuff you like.
Twitch, Deagin RS.
Oh, getting faster every week.
Yeah.
Doing much streaming these days?
Did I do any this week? I don't think so. Maybe it might have been a bit. I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, true. Alrighty. Well, before we get on out of here, our song of the week was requested by Antoine on Twitter, and he says, you guys should play Predator Xarpus. I really like the music that came with the Theater of Blood. Also, like 20 or 30 seconds in, it sounds kind of like Star Wars, so that's pretty cool. So, Predator Xarpus is a music track that is unlocked upon entering the Xarpus room in Theater of Blood. And it was composed by Julian Surma. Alrighty, let's get on out of here.
Yeah, I think it's time.
It definitely is time. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And next week, we're on the next episode, 98. Holy shit, 98, I think.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good one.